Based
After Dark.
Thank you all for watching the Based After Dark podcast. If you enjoyed this show, then you can support us further by subscribing to our Patreon that offers 3 different tiers. That will be linked in the description down below.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Based After Dark episode 37, featuring your humble host, Mr. Hamzy IRL, Ignoble Solid, Prison Joe, T Papa Slice, Zoe Pancakes, myself, Tasty Life from YouTube, and our special guest for the week, Roidie. Round of applause.
Woo!
Hello.
Roidie, the man with the beautiful voice, one of the most legendary RuneScape streamers. The fuck is up, Roidie? How are we doing, bro? I've actually, this is one of the most excited I've been to be on a podcast, because I feel like you know this, but I'm a large Roidie simp. Big
Likewise.
Roidie simp. No.
Yeah, I was happy to get the Valentine's Day invite. I'm sorry I had to let you down, but I was happy to be invited. I hope you found somebody.
Yeah, thank you.
But
He
to
didn't,
answer your
don't
question, as I said in the before we started the stream, I am a little bit sick today, so my voice is a bit scratchy, so hopefully that's not a problem.
It's extra beautiful.
I was
gonna say,
Couldn't
I
even
think,
tell.
I think
It's extra
It's a
beautiful.
little upgrade.
Yeah,
It's got
yeah.
that.
You
It's
should
got.
get sick more.
It's like an
timbre to a
actor
little
rap.
rough, edgy.
Damn, dude, look
You
at that.
should hear me when I
music
wake up
board.
first thing in the morning, but you'd have to go to bed with me for that to be the case.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like for the first hour of the day.
Let's fucking do it. All right.
On the Valentine's Day episode.
You have to tier 3 or what's
should have
up?
got him to do the intro, not Tasty.
Dude, yeah, what the hell? Holy.
It's definitely better.
Yeah, so I feel like you're kind of known for the guy with the beautiful deep voice, and I just want to know that, like, it's so pretty. Like I can't stop thinking about it. I go to bed at night thinking about your voice, Roidie.
Thank you.
Is it hereditary? Does your lineage have beautiful voice as well?
My dad's voice is deeper than mine.
Oh wow.
What the shit? Yeah.
Oh my
Star in Nashville?
god!
Punch in? Holy shit.
We're from the north, unfortunately.
Okay. I see.
They make mammoths up there.
They make what?
The mammoths? He's from
Like
a
the
long line
animal?
of North.
Well, you know they're bringing back
Like
mammoths,
the
right?
animal?
You know they're bringing
You've never
back
seen
mammoths.
those big, burly northeastern people, the lumberjacks,
Mammoths are
you know, with the deep
extinct.
voices.
They've
You
never
get the
called
idea.
them mammoths.
Oh, relax.
People.
Yeah,
They're
You're
people.
being metaphoric.
They're people.
I'm
You are a
thinking
person.
I did not know
They're
that.
people, not
No.
animals,
I thought
okay?
we were
Or
talking
are
about
you a
Ice Age.
person? You know what? I feel like that's been one of the questions that's on everybody's mind, Roidie. Are you a real person?
Oh, we're launching into this? We're
Yeah.
launching into this right now?
It came
Okay.
up, so I feel like we have
we're
to
gonna
start
get
with it.
existential right away.
Yeah, of course.
Option 2.
It's actually, yeah, it's a pretty contingent question. People want to know, are you real?
I guess as real as anybody. I mean, I don't subscribe to the simulation theory myself. No,
Ooh, not yet.
Okay, good. That's a
That's
dumb
what
thing.
the
not yet. Are we going to talk about that?
I mean,
We'll get into that. We'll put that on the notebook.
Have you heard the AI accusations?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
About me?
Yeah. All right.
No, that's
Well,
news to me.
You know, there's a little rumor
I think
going
I'd be a little
around,
better
you
at the
know?
game if I was a robot.
Well, you're pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean,
wait,
even-
what?
even bot
Interesting.
scripts
You're
make
pretty good.
mistakes sometimes.
Pretty
you know?
good, but I'd be like really good.
Okay, fair enough.
I had a question regarding the voice. I was just gonna
Go
ask,
for
have
it.
you actually ever done any voice work? I mean, aside from like anything streaming related.
I know that was one of the popular questions in the thread. No, I have not. Because I've never pursued them, and I've never had somebody come up to me on the street like, "Hey, talk for me." You want to roll some?
They're missing
Never
out,
happened.
Just
honestly.
get on Fiverr. You probably would kill it. If you had a Fiverr, you just had a
I think
couple.
yeah.
No, that'd be kind of fun.
A cameo, put
As
them on
far as I know, it's
Yeah.
not a very lucrative career unless you're like a real top dog.
That's true, yeah.
You know, it's a little side hustle though. Doesn't have to be your, you know, have to, stake your whole thing. We could hire you to do the intro for our podcast, bro.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
give you
Jagex
$5
has never
right
fucking
now.
reached out to me, man.
Huh?
They've reached out to everybody but me. I hate them.
That's kind of crazy.
Wait, have
They
they?
did have you do something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that actually shocks me.
I don't think they like me.
What?
Really?
In the
Why?
5 years I've been streaming, I just get the subtle impression that Jagex doesn't like me. I don't know
There's
why.
no way
they
they-
know that you're not real.
Interesting.
Oh, what if he's a Jagex plant?
Some real theories cooking.
Oh, also,
over here.
no, so on that note, the year that I won my Golden Gnome in 2019 for Best New Streamer, they held a panel that year called like How to Be a Successful New Streamer, and they didn't invite me to the panel.
Oh my gosh, that is as Jagex as it gets, bro.
That's Gagex. Yeah, dude, you're right.
evil.
They do fucking hate you. Holy shit.
What did you
Yeah,
do to them?
Maybe this year, if they have one, eh?
Surely they have one soon, right?
If there was a Rune Fest, would you
Surely.
go?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to think they'd put me up
Now we
this
have
time.
to go.
They didn't last time.
That is insane to me. Solo Mission had a theory that the reason that they have postponed the Golden Gnomes is because they're going to maybe announce it with the announcement of RuneFest all together, all in one package. So
Yes,
we can
sir.
still keep our
I
fingers
would
crossed.
want them to announce RuneFest and Leagues 4 at the same time. I'd be very happy. I'd be elated.
Likewise.
You'd be happy about that too.
And we all win Golden Gnomes. Yay, it'd be perfect.
That would be kind of nice.
Surely Will gets his first this year.
Surely. It's all right. He has the streamer
Will?
awards. He'll be fine.
Will won
Yeah,
Best Streamer
Will.
last year.
No,
Oh.
he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No fucking way.
No, yeah, he did.
He won Best
as,
Streamer last
as
year.
a certified It's Will Dick Rider, I will say he did win. He did.
Yeah.
He did win?
Yeah,
Is he
he
just so insignificant in my head that I just...
Yes.
Real.
No, I
Dude,
love
what
Will,
if,
because he
what
was...
if Will is the robot, dude?
Will and I started streaming at like the exact same time. We were both up for the golden gnome that I did eke out. I think he came very close to beating me.
Damn. That's impressive.
Oh,
beating
you
Will, honestly.
stole it from Will.
I did,
Dude,
yeah.
Big
He
ups,
probably
big
should
ups.
have won in retrospect, but still.
What kind of content were you doing around the time that Golden Gnomes was happening for you?
I had just died on my first hardcore when I won that golden gnome. Like
Did you
literally
die for the
Tuesday.
gnome?
Which account was that?
That was my first hardcore, the one with my namesake.
Roidie. Okay, that's actually I started watching you back then. That's when I first
Yeah,
started
which
watching
at the time was like one of the best in the game, but that was a different era.
How did that one die?
Before I
was not
played.
around then.
Oh, I remember
That's
this.
the one that died because I was looking at Twitter
Okay,
and my prayer
Uh-huh.
dropped. It spoke.
Oh yeah.
That was
Smoke
about
Devil.
3 hours after I was the second person to ever complete God Wars Dungeon on a hardcore.
Oh, no.
So I was like, I
pretty
was
good.
at this super high, and then I just fucking died.
How was dealing with that? How was the recovery? Was that
I think I
very
made a new
pivotal point
hardcore
in your
that
life?
same day. That literally like an hour later, I made a new hardcore, and everybody was like, "How the hell could you just do that?" And I'm like, "Well, it's what I do."
What's the other option? You know, I feel like
People
that's
forget.
a good way to farm. You know,
People forget. Pardon me. My voice is doing its thing. The reality of being like a super late game Iron Man is that it fucking sucks. So I was kind of like, I was pretty happy to restart after dying.
don't fucking nod your head,
wait to
T-Pop.
die.
You're
I
literally
can't
mid
wait
game,
to
dude.
die.
I swear
Shut
to
up,
God.
Bro, I am not. I'm not
T-Pop's
mid
got
game,
pretty
bro.
far, man.
I'm
He's
not
pretty
mid
far
game,
along.
bro. Zammy's
I'm a
done.
big early
Bando's
game guy
done.
myself.
Zolra's done. Come on.
Top, what's the top Casey at?
31.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is on a hardcore.
Yes, sir.
Aha. Tell him how many corrupted gauntlet you've done.
2.
On hardcore.
Yeah.
How many
Dude,
regulars?
Roidie knows. See, like, I'm not afraid to say it's a Roidie. You guys can't talk shit, okay? He's done it. Like, I don't care. Like, if he wants to talk shit, he's allowed to. You guys can keep your mouths closed, okay? Like,
I'm sorry.
you have no
Talk shit,
CGKC
man.
on any hardcores. No,
Yet.
CG scares me, so this is hard. What did you think the hardest thing that you did on a hardcore was?
Hardest thing I ever did.
Or like, I don't know, like the most
Probably-
nerve-wracking maybe. Not hard, but you know, it's
I think TOB was always the spookiest for me. If I were to do it nowadays on a hardcore, it's pretty easy. But like,
Yeah, T-Pop.
this was back when it was like this. It was on a pedestal of difficulty. TOB was.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal anymore, right?
Do you think it's less of a deal because people are just so much better now, or because there's harder?
Oh yeah,
content?
big time,
Yeah.
big time. Everything just gets so diminished as time goes on. It just gets trivialized.
There's also like a meta for carrying hardcores now, isn't there?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I was one of the first to leech off that meta.
Sheesh. As you should. And look at T-Papa now, this guy.
How many hardcores have you remade?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you off the top of my head. Let me see.
You think you were probably the
So-
start of the remake Andy kind of saga? Like how long ago was your first?
I was
hardcore?
one
How
of the
many years?
first. See, what I was the start of, and what I will take credit for, is the rushed content on a hardcore. That was me who started that.
Okay.
Technically, it was Cloud Badass, but he only did it because he just wasn't challenged by anything else, so he had to make things difficult. I did it because I knew that I would DC, so I wanted to get as much done as I could as fast as possible. So I would push all like the TOB, the CG and stuff to as early as possible to try to get all that gear and then take that through the rest of the game. And that just became the meta. But I was the first person to do that. Don't let anybody tell you different.
That would suck if you did that kind of rush account and then you got all the like the super fun hardcore stuff out of the way without dying, and then you just had to farm like Slayer for the rest of your account. Like that's
what my current hardcore is doing that I don't play. That's why I play them. My hardcore that's just all dusty in the background is in that exact position. And I know we'll get to that topic.
Yeah, I know you've been about the low combat stuff. Like I know I was big into your low level infernos, the MSB infernos that you were doing, even though that's like safe death. But I know you were always about doing the like low combat stuff. That was a good era.
That cape literally gave me depression, man. I had like a 3-month bout of acute depression from that particular grind. It just broke my soul.
I need to hear that. I was considering maybe doing MSB Inferno.
I started pursuing the MSB RCB Eagle Eye cape, and like I was okay at Inferno at the time. I'd gotten a few, but I was not nearly as good as I am today. So I kind of just like it had maybe been like a year since my last Inferno, and I'm like, hey, let's try this with this like super newbie gear, get this cape out of the way. And it was super fucking hard, way harder than I counted on it being. And it took me it was like a month and a half of just me running into a brick wall. And then I had to take a break from streaming, period, because I moved down here and there was just so many logistical obstacles to me getting back up to the stream, to where from start to finish, me doing this cape was like a 5-month process. And it just destroyed me. And then I think pretty soon after I got it, I died to a DC.
Good.
But at least you got it.
Right,
but I was happy that I did it.
Yeah.
That particular endeavor made me so much better at the game. It really did.
I can't even imagine.
I'm always interested, kind of off topic, but when we get like a big stature streamer in the podcast such as yourself, why did you start streaming? Like, I feel like the time you started streaming around like 2017, you said?
Yeah.
We started?
Well, yeah, 2017. It was right after college. I actually wasn't done with college at the time. It was I was doing a capstone internship at the time, which was required for my department.
Look
and
at
it
this
was
guy
like
go.
such.
I want to ask you about your college too. I need to know about like jacked college Roidie.
Because that's when I was.
Yeah, those are the stereo. There's some accusations from that time too. We gotta get through those.
So yeah, I was doing my capstone internship where I was basically just like I was interning for a guy who ran a powerlifting gym. It was just this very small affair. And so like it didn't really require that much work. I was there for maybe like an hour a day. So I was like, I'm just going to start streaming because I'm very full of myself and people need to hear what I have to say. Because up to that point, I was always been a huge Foe fan. And Paul Foe, he's the one who showed me that you don't have to be this exuberant character to have people that are going to tune into you. And I was like, hey, I'm not an exuberant character. Maybe I could stream like my hero Foe. And so I started.
Would you say that Foe is still your hero?
Foe is like a brother to me, to be honest. He's like an older brother.
We'll get Foe.
Probably more of a brother to me than my actual middle brother.
I feel that. I don't. Yeah. I'm not too close to my brother. I'm closer to probably probably the 4 other men in this call aside from you. I'm closer with than my actual real life brother. So I feel that.
So how did Foe have anything help, like as far as helping you when you first started streaming? Because I know you were a big fan of him before you started. Like, did he know who you were when you started?
Yeah, I had been like a mod in his chat for some time.
A Foe mod.
But this was in the era where like if you raided, or I don't even know if raids were a thing. No, I think it was just hosts. If you hosted somebody, those counted as like authentic viewers as far as Twitch was concerned. So he got me to he got me to affiliate like instantly because he rated me with like 1,500 people, and I didn't even want him to do that. I was still just kind of like getting my footing as a streamer, and I was like, "Do not host me because I'm not ready for that." And he's like, "Sorry, I'm hosting you." And there was just a bunch of people asking me about my body at the time, which was like,
were you streaming with like a tank top on or what?
Yeah, what were you wearing?
Yeah, I would often stream with tank tops.
Oh,
And then like a month or two later, I was
return?
partnered. I got partner on my first application, which was like 2 or 3 months after I started streaming.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's
First
spicy.
app Andy.
That's
Let's go.
Yes.
So, how much did you bench?
How much do I bench or how much did I bench?
Both. Either or.
How much do I bench should be like, you know, that SpongeBob episode with like the teddy bears on the side of the barbell? That's pretty much me now. The most I've ever benched, I never did powerlifting, so none of my like 1 rep max numbers are impressive at all. So I think the most I ever did was 315, but that was with a little bit on the table. So call it like 325.
That's a big bench. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
that's a
6
3
feet tall.
wheels.
That's a
I got
good
long
one.
arms.
3 wheels.
Why did you start like lifting? I'm always interested in people's fitness journeys. Me and T Papa were on Sater's podcast, and like that was basically
That was
just a
Prison
fitness
Joe,
podcast.
but yeah.
Wait, what I said? Oh, I said T Papa. It's
What
empty.
the fuck?
Dude, I literally just did a 6-hour fashion
Wow.
stream. I don't want to hear it, bro. I'm so close.
I honestly I'm mad respect. You just did a 6-hour stream with 5 minutes into the podcast. Like,
Yeah, I raw dogged it. But
Yeah, that was good.
anyway. It was a great podcast with me and T Papa talking about fitness, and I feel like I learned a lot about, you know, Sater from his fitness journey. So, like, why did you get jacked? Why did you get stacked?
I was a fat kid. Not a lot of people know that. I was a chunkster.
same.
And so too were my older brothers. And my oldest brother, with whom I do have a good relationship,
Thank you.
around when I was like 16 or so, he started going to the gym. And he is 7 years older than I did. Or than I am, rather.
Close enough.
And I saw him go to the gym for like the first 6 months to a year that he was doing it. And he started to get not fat. And I was like, oh. You just eat
I'm so
okay
glad
and
Unique's
work
is
out.
not here. This could be bad.
I was like, it really is that simple. It's what everybody tells you to do. I'm going to do it myself. And so I did.
And that was just it. And then
And being an
reason.
extreme personality, I took that to the extreme for a long time. But yeah. So originally it was just a defatification that
What was,
personality.
what was the frame like then? Like, how much did you weigh? How big were you?
I was probably like 195, but like all fat.
Shit. Oh, before the gym. I mean, like at the peak of like your fitness journey. I was,
Oh,
like,
the
how
peak
big
of
were
my
you?
fitness, I was 225 with abs.
Damn.
Wow.
Jesus.
Jacked up.
What did your gym days look like when you first started working out? Like, I know for me, also being an extreme personality, I was like 2 hours, like 5 days a week.
Yeah, pretty similar. I was, well, I did 5 days a week, basic bro split, 1 body part per day, which was like stupid
Classic.
for a beginner. And then 2 rest days and repeat for like 3 years.
Impressive.
That'll definitely do it.
That'll work.
Did you
That'll
ever
defatify.
use any type of anabolic steroid while you worked out?
When I was younger, I was like big into considering that type of stuff, but it's just my goals nowadays. Like the younger me would probably would have gone down that route, but at a certain point, I'm like, I don't even like competitive bodybuilding, so why would like
But
why
why
am
is
I
your
gonna
name
go down that
Roidie
route?
then?
So yeah, where'd the name Roidie
Where did
come
Roidie
from?
The
come
name
from?
Roidie came from when I was a teenager, when I first started lifting, and I was like, this would be funny. The name was satirical. It was satirical in nature. I'm like, this would be funny. I lift. Let's call myself Roidie. And I really fucking wish I'd changed my name before I started streaming, because it's been a pain in the ass for like 10 years.
If you could change it
Yeah.
right now, what would the new name be? What if you could
I
rebrand
have no
and everyone would
idea.
accept
I've always
you?
been so bad with screen names. I
Roidie
like the
kinda
name
sick.
Roidie. I just don't like the connotations.
I think Man Cannon could be the full rebrand, honestly.
Man.
Man,
Yeah, that has been
I
that's-
love Man Cannon.
That's aggressive.
Man Cannon is a good name. That is a good name.
Where did Man Cannon come from, by the way?
I don't know. I was just like, I opened the name changer one day and just like something from another universe just like came into
Primal
my brain.
Instinct.
And I typed it in and it was available. I was like, absolutely, yes.
His
I'm
other
picturing
passion.
Roidie like
besides
looking in the
steroids.
mirror, being like, "Oh, dude, those some fucking cannons," and it's like, "Dude, that's a man cannon." That's my name.
I mean, it's a cool
that what you
sounding name,
did?
and you get the double entendre as well.
True, actually. Whoa, I didn't think about that.
You said you're bad with screen names. What were your names? What were your old screen names like pre-Roidie?
I did not have any consistent screen names prior to that. I would think that when I first started playing RuneScape when I was a kid, it took me like a year to even have a first account because I would just make an account, play it for like a week, and be like, I'm sick of this screen name, and just make a new one. It took me like a year to land on like an actual name, which I didn't even like.
Damn.
That's completely valid.
Okay.
You ever do
I was
magic
gonna say, like,
mushrooms?
We're just going down the list, aren't we?
I was kidding. I was just thinking
We're
about segue,
asking about
you know?
college, you know?
Just curious, right?
I went to college. We'll put it that way.
Oh.
Okay, very Bill
Okay.
Clinton answer. I respect it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay.
We love it.
You don't
Are
want to
you aware
extrapolate
of
on
the,
your
I
I
experiences?
need more of this wine in me. Hang on. Let me just.
I see you like pouring a
You're gonna
new
get the
glass
real
like
meat
every
for half
3
an hour.
seconds.
I wanted to ask about the
It's like,
instinct.
holy
Are
shit.
you aware of the instinct?
What's that mean?
The emote instinct.
We're just teaching you
An
so much
emote?
about yourself
Wait,
today.
you don't know about
this-
instinct?
You don't know
Oh,
what instinct
You're
is?
famous.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to
I have
ask.
no
I don't-
idea what you're
Oh
talking about.
my god.
Okay, we need to go back.
There's
Can I
no
go back a
way.
little bit?
Rewind us. Rewind us.
Okay,
I'll
rewind,
pull the
rewind.
link.
Go ahead, Zoe, go ahead. Go ahead.
One day, somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody from Homies was looking through a bunch of GIFs and saw that the account Roidie had uploaded a bunch of GIFs on Tenor. Did you upload those yourself?
That was a very brief time that I was with an agency that decided to make a bunch of gifts of me without even asking.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Okay,
That
so
is the best answer you could have given. Okay.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. So
takes
I
away
think
from
it was
the robot
Dr.
theory.
T or somebody took the emote of you going. It's you going like
Let's all hit it real quick.
yeah.
I dropped it.
And
I
the
put
title
the
is
link.
it's just on 7TV. The name is just Instinct.
I'm trying to remember.
Dude,
why I
67
was
channels
doing-
have this emote added, and you don't even know it
Roy.
exists.
No, I don't.
That's insane.
I'm trying to remember why I was doing that. It must have been from a drop or
Link the
something.
emote so you can see it.
Oh no! It's
Wait.
it's the quote where you're like the instinct to do that. Like he had the instinct. That's you can't
Yeah.
mimic that level of gameplay.
Yes.
That clip.
He doesn't even know his own quote.
Oh my
I
god!
have no idea what you're fucking talking
You
about.
are a goddamn robot, dude. There's no way. Dude. There's literally no way.
Somebody knows.
There's
Is it in
there's
Tob
a-
or something? He's like he had
I
the
might
instinct to
be-
do that.
Ticket or
It's-
something.
It was during
I
the
am
hardcore.
a streamer, but I don't use social media. I don't do this. Like if I'm not
Valid.
streaming, I'm just off like reading a book or
That's
something.
fair.
Is that what you do if you're not streaming?
No.
You read books.
I was gonna say, man.
Here's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was during the farmers hardcore Tob, I believe, is when you made that
Mhm.
quote. I believe that's what the GIF emote is named after. The instinct.
Speaking
Oh,
of famous
well.
Roidie lines, sorry.
No, because that wouldn't be group hardcore. I've always been in this house, and that GIF was from my last apartment.
True.
Oh, okay.
Like Chipotle.
I was
Maybe
going to
something
say
else.
that,
Somebody in
but
Tob
I didn't
somewhere.
want to seem too much like a simp, so I was just staying quiet because I knew that too.
You know all the lore.
Background real. Is that a green screen or is that real behind?
This is my real background.
Can you touch that
Which was
couch?
decorated in
You touched the
1996 by my late grandmother.
Touch the couch.
I can
I
wheel
love
out
the
here.
background. I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
That's a green screen for sure.
Whoa.
No, the flowers moved.
Touch the
flower
flowers.
moved. The flower moved.
It's real.
It's real.
Or maybe it's just a good green screen.
Yeah.
It's very dynamic, yeah.
Speaking of flowers, dude, yesterday was Valentine's Day, so who got you those flowers?
Those are fake flowers that have always been there.
Oh, okay.
The best way to decorate,
Damn.
honestly. I have to go
it's-
back a bit though. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go on.
We were on the topic of famous Roidie lines, so I just have to ask: are you familiar with the phrase "I just hit a fucking loading line"?
It sounds like me, but no.
Someone was spamming that in my chat.
I was gonna ask you to define what it means to hit a fucking loading line.
CM Cox
you have to
doing
be a
Boston?
robot. Your memory is like it kicks out memory. Like after not a long period of time, you have to remember the loading line. There's no way you can remember
on
that.
stream. I can say something on stream, and if somebody references what I just said like 20 seconds later, I won't know what the fuck they're talking about.
That's the worst part of the job. I hate it, bro.
That's fair.
Well, that's fair enough.
AI is getting crazy. That's all I'm gonna say.
So if like you just stream, right? Like you don't do any YouTube or anything like that.
Correct.
If you're not streaming, do you just go and like plug in or what?
Well, usually my day is like, I'll get up, I'll come over or I'll do my like coffee breakfast stuff. Not coffee like you, but coffee like a normal person. But
That was beautiful.
No, he's right. He's right. It's a good take.
and then I'll sit down, I'll watch whoever's on maybe for like an hour and look over maybe whatever YouTube videos came out overnight, usually like a 3 a.m. Tor Vesta video or something. And then I'll like work out, shower, eat something before the stream. I usually go live at like noon, and then I'll stream till like 7. And lately, I've been a taxi for my friend who doesn't have a car, so I'll bring her home, and it'll take like an hour. And then I'll come home, maybe watch Mr. Mammal for like an hour and a half, then go to bed. And by go to bed, I mean watch TV for 3 hours.
Is there a Mrs. Roidie? Is that who we're showing?
There is not a Mrs. Roidie.
Yet? Or at all?
Are you saying here now that Mr. Mammal is part of your bedtime routine?
I am in love with Mr. Mammal.
Me too.
He's a beautiful person.
Okay, that's valid. I
He
started
is my
rewatching
favorite person.
his series today from episode 1, and it's phenomenal to look back on.
He is a humble, kind man.
Like, he's not gonna listen to this probably. So, like, are you mad that he took all the lives? Like, for real?
Nobody's fucking mad. It's just the biggest bunch of chatters
just
who
say
are
it.
just so
Just say it.
like,
Just like
the type of person. The three of us, we were like, there was like a sense of relief when Mammal died for the last time. Like, oh, we don't have to do this shit anymore. We don't have to try to push our schedules together to entertain the masses. And the only people who gave a shit are like the type of people to tune in once every like month and a half. They've got like 13 messages in the chat, like, Mr. Mammal, you ruined my life by dying. The farmers are my everything. And then they spend like an hour on Twitch per month.
That is really do be like that.
They're gremlins. They exist.
I love that. That was a great take. This is the kind of insider information that we're looking for. Actually, you know, while we're on the topic, like, how did the GIM team come to be? Like, what was your guys' relationship before? And like, obviously, it seems like you guys are still homies now.
Yeah, we're good friends. I know all these guys. Like we met at well, I was only at the one Rune Fest, so we have all met then, but they've met many times prior. Originally, I think they wanted Sick Nerd as their fourth, but Sick Nerd was like notoriously flaky with the game itself, even back then. And then so Foe, as a homie of mine, was like, how about we bring this guy in? And Curtis and Mammal were like, all right. And that's just kind of how that group came to be. And then I developed friendships with Curtis and Mammal therefrom, even though I already like was subscribed to both of them. They weren't super well acquainted to me up to that point until the group, but Foe was.
I know you're already like well established then, but how did the farmers grow your stream or anything at all?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You were blowing up back in the peak.
Because I think even like nowadays, like I have Mammal stream open. Mammal has 208K followers, which I think is the least of the three, and I have like 64K or something. And I think at the beginning of Group Iron Man, it maybe had like 40K or so.
Holy crap!
So it was a pretty big bump from there.
That is insane.
The name Farmers, who came up with that? Which one?
That was a Foe idea. I think our original idea was like Brothers, but that was like taken immediately. So.
Brothers.
I'd be down for like a Brothers, calendar coming out. So I'd kind of cute.
We had talked about a Farmers like sexy calendar, but it never came to
Farmers
fruition.
is great because it's like a very brandable name. Like it's that was a really good choice of name for sure.
Wait, all you guys just overalls, nothing else on, straw hats out in the fields, take some pictures. That's your calendar for the year.
Perfect.
Honestly, you could sell that. That would actually sell well.
Assless chaps.
Sure
You know how weird
it's not too late.
That's true. Reunion tour, maybe?
Yeah.
One
reunion tour would be
21-year-old
great.
me was thinking about a career like that, but I was like, nah, morals.
They're
Hold up,
definitely.
we're unlocking Roidie Lore here. Can we talk about that more? Roidie Lore is
I've nonchalantly polished off 90% of this bottle.
I'm so proud of you.
He's about to be
Is there
drunk.
oil in there? Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
That's like he's just pounding that shit back like a motor oil, dude.
Let's
Goddamn.
go.
Yeah, what is this?
So
like
you were gonna be a
13
stripper.
point
He'll be
something
fine.
percent.
He'll be fine.
I considered it, to be fair. My favorite
Really?
aspect of bodybuilding is posing. It's not the lifting, it's not the dieting. I love posing. I love the presentation.
Posing
So I
is a
was like,
workout in itself.
maybe I could be a
isn't it?
stripper.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
It like if you sit there and pose and like actually flex in the mirror for like a good 20-30 minutes, you'll be fucking destroyed. Like your entire body will be strained out.
Oh yeah, and I would do that every day for like years on end. I was big on posing.
Can you hit the Ziz pose right now? Do you know the Ziz one?
The Ziz pose like that, but no, there's nothing to show these days. I'll tuck it away.
Wow, you
Like
got
from
something, you got
Pumping
something in
Irons.
there. You got something in there.
What's like the routine today? Like what are your fitness goals? Like do you have any fitness goals right now? Are you trying to build towards anything?
No, I'm not. I'm actually purposefully keeping myself small. If I eat like a substantive amount of food and protein right now, all of that muscle memory just goes like, ugh. Like I'll gain muscle at a ridiculous rate if I actually try to.
That's a
But
terrible
I don't.
problem.
Why?
I don't want to.
Why not?
Yeah, what's
'Cause
the reasoning?
I mean, Joe and Tasty, you'll know this. You get to a certain point, and you just can't shake people's preconceived notions of who you are as a person before they actually meet you, based on your size. And I don't like that at all. I think it left a very bad taste in my mouth.
They were all right about me, to be fair. But for you, I understand that. You know, I get it.
I was always the biggest guy in the room, and it just got really fucking old. Like I'm fine to look the way that I do now. I still look good naked. I look kind of small in clothing, but like I don't have to put that 50 pounds back on.
So you quit working out hard just because of people's preconceived notions? Like you
Not
didn't want
really.
people to think
I
that you're
quit
like a
working out
meathead,
hard
or-
because of gyms closing because of lockdown provisions.
Oh.
2020.
They're back
So is
open.
that- is
It's
that
time
when
to
you
get
lost
juiced up,
size?
Daddy.
Yeah, that snowballed into me not working out for a year and a half, and in that time, I lost so much weight. I've actually probably put back on like 15 or 20 pounds, but I don't really care to put back on that much more.
I feel like that's what happened to everyone though. Like when gyms
Yeah.
closed. I know I lost.
Yeah.
I actually didn't lose any weight. I just lost muscle and I got fat.
Oh, I did too.
I was
Like
chubby.
I was still north of 200, but just like all fat.
Yeah.
I was lucky at my previous job. I still had a gym to go to, and that's when I went through my powerlifting phase. Like probably the biggest one. I was like 280 and just all like super high strength training, low reps, etc. And yeah, I
Nah,
was kinda
you
buzzed
used to be
too.
a beefcake.
Yeah, I was.
you
Yeah,
large.
were-
big old boy.
I was large.
Yeah, you two are actually the reasons why Roidie doesn't work out anymore. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
You stole my
Man,
niche, you
honestly,
son of a
that's
bitch.
true. Yeah.
We already saw the streams where you were covered in baby oil doing Vorpad, and he said, I don't think this life is for me, actually.
See, there's a few streamers like that, right? They just sit in the dark, covered in oil, to
No,
try
he
to look
really
like
was
they're
like
not
that. I'm not
120
joking.
pounds.
On Twitch? Where can I find
Yeah.
these streams?
Some
Yeah.
bikini section possibly.
I can't imagine Joe the way he is. Like Joe seems like such a normal person to me now, but just seeing those old clips from like 4 or 5 years ago of Joe just like lathering himself up in oil is just so like that's a different guy.
Man,
to
I
me.
had to
No, but
break
it's
past
very
into
true.
you
Like
somehow.
when I watch those older clips of Seth, I was like, oh, he was dumber back then. He probably wasn't. but like, but like, it's true.
I'll say this. I was definitely dumber as far as Twitch culture goes, and like Twitch, even RuneScape. Oh, like definitely dumber, 100%. That's accurate. I mean, it's I've
See,
knowledge
we're
outside
getting
of
back
that
to the
now.
preconceived notions here. This is what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
no, you're
right.
not
How many people
wrong.
in my life have I met that I get to know them, and I speak in a fairly eloquent way,
You do.
and I'll just talk to people for the first time, people who have like seen me out and about for however long, and they'll be like, "Holy crap, you are not the way that I thought you were going to be at all." This is back when I was younger and like really big, and I was like, "Well, why not? Why do you fucking assume that I'm dumb because I'm 230 pounds?"
Now that you say
And
that,
I just got so
bet you
sick
got
of that
a
shit.
lot.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
it's
don't know.
people like
He's
Prison
very
Joe that ruin it
eloquent.
for you. Can we
It is.
roll the clip I put in After Dark?
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready for Pitt. I'm ready. I'm ready, Vorkath. Take me.
Throw it in.
That was at the peak of the powerlifting right there. That's pretty.
Ah, damn. You literally look like a hot dog. You look like those beef franks, all like wet with hot dog water and shit, just like layered on top of each other.
Timestamp. Kenny's can throw it up right here for the.
Yeah, I got the timestamp. Speaking of
Hardstyle.
preconceived notions, Roidie, you know some people in this call, you don't know others. Do you have any preconceived notions about any of us, or even when you just
What a
heard
great
like, Zoe
question.
being like, "You're gonna be
That's
on the
a really
cast"?
good question. Thank you.
Yeah, what are your
what do you
first
think,
impressions
Matthias?
of all of us?
Yeah, tell me that
I'm
I'm
not
this guy.
that kind of guy, man. I like to get
Put
to
the
know
pressure on
somebody
you.
before I decide what they're about. You know,
But it's
valid.
human nature
I
to make
expect
like,
that of me, so I
quick.
don't like to project that onto others.
It's very mature.
Fair.
Yeah, I like that.
How did Zoe ask you to come on? Right?
Wow.
How did she sell the podcast to you? What did she say? What was the pitch?
Like I knew the podcast existed. She was like, "Hey, you want to be on it?" And I'm like, "Sure." There was no persuasion.
All right, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Well, when you
very
said when you
persuasive.
asked what the details were, and I was like, "Does he know what it is? Like, do I have to explain the podcast? You just want to know
wondering,
where
yeah.
and when?" Like,
I meant more like the time.
okay, I just
Stuff
I
like
threw
that.
both in to be sure. Just to be sure. You know,
Yeah,
I don't want to assume that anybody knows what it is.
Have you ever watched the podcast before?
I have not. Well, I'm watching it live right now.
Whoa, you're in
I
it.
don't
That's
consume a
crazy.
tremendous amount of RuneScape media when I'm not streaming personally.
What do you consume? What's the 3 hours before bed consist of?
Right now, I'm watching Clarkson's Farm Season 2 on Amazon.
I'm unfamiliar.
Before
Yeah, I never
that,
heard
I was
of that.
watching the latest season of American Dad.
Ah,
Great show.
banger.
So do you have any like major like hobbies or passions or little tinkerings that make you tick? You got any little things like that?
I mean, I have like a gazillion things if I had the time for them, but like since I don't, no, not really. Outside of just like staying alive, I'm the only one who lives here, so like I maintain the cleanliness. I cook my own food. I work out. I look after myself. I work. I sleep, and like not a lot of time for other stuff.
Do you enjoy that cycle?
I do, yeah. I'm very content with life. I don't take any medications. I don't do any drugs. I just vibe. I'm just raw dog in existence.
Any drugs at all? You did drink a whole bottle of wine at about 10
I mean, other than this entire bottle.
I was gonna say, so yeah, what's the what is you obviously like consuming alcohol? Is there any other choices outside of wine that you enjoy? Whiskey guy, maybe
There's a lot
beer.
of whiskey
Not
in
really, no.
Tennessee.
I'm really just getting into wine now, just to have like something of a palate for it, and like know a little bit about the different popular grape varieties. But I don't see myself being like a wino at any
See,
point in time.
that's like a cute little hobby. That's what I mean. Exactly. My
Yeah,
roommate
it's
is
expensive
a
as fuck, but yeah.
yeah, that is true. My roommate's a som, so he does all that kind of stuff. I'm
Is he
very
really?
like parallel to the world. So like I don't know a lot about it, but I know enough to pretend that I do. Like if I go to a nice restaurant or something. That's all I really want, but it's fun. Like you see all these like little groups of Psalms get together, and like I'm not saying you have to be a Psalm, but like buy a little textbook, just like study up. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not I wouldn't mind going for that certification someday, because like right now, like I do the smell test, and I'm like, yeah, it smells like wine.
You do
Like,
the twirl, and you hold it up and like,
in the notes
That's what
here,
we
it just
all
smells like
think,
wine.
That's what everybody thinks. But
I'm
they have to
getting
say
an
something
earthy
else.
feel.
Yeah, gotta say something else.
oaky afterbirth. Yes.
I feel like I would trust you as a sommelier for sure. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'll buy whatever you're selling.
I
for
trust
sure.
Max. It's Max.
You see, I have
got me into it more.
I have a nasty quality of sounding like I know what I'm talking about, even when I don't at all. So I
That's
just
a
have
very
to,
important
I have to,
quality.
Yeah, that
I
is
have to
vital.
disclaim that I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's
It's very good for streaming.
The whole the working out thing, where you would like be worried about what people think of you, because I feel like that's even more of a flex if you're just this jack guy who's like really well spoken and like intelligent. Even if you don't know what you're talking about, you sound like you are. I feel like that. You should go
With
back
working out, though, I do know what I'm talking about. I am a self-proclaimed
master's.
expert
if
in
you're
that realm.
225 stacked up like that, I'm sure you probably do. You also have education based on that, don't you? Or no?
Yeah, my degree is in kinesiology.
Okay.
Is that a master's? Am I right?
No, it's just a bachelor's.
Okay,
but
okay.
I mean, going on to a master's, it wouldn't really give me that much more in the way of like relevant knowledge. Even my bachelor's, I consider my bachelor's to be like a polish on my self-accrued knowledge over the years. Like there's not a lot that I learned from my degree, but it solidified a lot of what I had. And I had some really good professors as well, like professors who weren't academics, but like who actually mattered in the world and then went on to teach.
Who actually mattered? I think academics don't
There's
matter.
a big difference.
Yeah, my favorite professor actually worked with an NBA team, like as a consultant. Like he was a professional in this shit.
Oh, so you mean they actually did training and coaching and things like that?
Yeah, like they were people with careers, not just lifelong academics who just went from like bachelor's to master's to doctorate to teaching and then never did anything with their life.
Yeah. If you like had to stop streaming, would you go back to that?
No, but I actually had a dream like 2 weeks ago that I was enrolled in a master's program. And even in the dream, I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? I don't want a career in this field.
Yeah, that's, yeah, honestly.
What did you want to do when you were in college?
I considered working with professional athletes because like that's a lot of what my department was about, was like professional, optimal sort of training, not just like personal training old grandmas at the gym, even though I was a personal trainer for 2 years and I did work with old ladies, but like my education was about like the actual like professional stuff. Like how to be the best that a person can be.
I feel like that's super common with people that are like jacked. I mean, this is something that even I did, and I had several friends that like were gym bros that felt like they wanted to be personal trainers and they started pursuing that path. And then when they got there, they realized that like, hey, this isn't working out. This isn't fun. This is what I like. This is completely different. Like, this is nothing close to just working out with my friends. Like, it's just, it's nothing. And then everyone quits. That's what happened to me.
All my clientele was old ladies. I like old ladies. Old ladies love me.
I bet they
like,
do.
Sure they do,
man. They really do. But
I
was like, you're not taking this seriously, so I'm having a hard time like committing a lot of passion to this. If you're just kind of mailing it in week after week.
Yeah.
I want to go back really quickly. What qualities do you think these old ladies liked about you? I'm just taking notes in case anybody is interested.
Well, I can recall one specific scenario where I was demoing like a dumbbell squat or some sort of exercise I wanted my group to do, because this was a group of old ladies.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And at the end of the demo, one of them says, "Can you repeat all of that? I was too busy looking at your thighs."
Oh, hell yeah.
You only see this part of me, but I have always been a very leg dominant fellow.
Ooh.
Like my quads were gargantuan when I was a bigger guy.
When are we getting a thigh reveal? When are you making an Instagram?
I could give you one, but it's me like cupping my dick, so I don't think I want to do that.
That's up to you. We could put it on the screen, if you send it
That
to
could be
us.
Patreon material, honestly.
There you go.
Good.
We have 3 patrons. 4? Wait, how many do we have now? We don't have Nick
4.
this week.
Hey, yo.
I don't know. Nick is a Patreon guy.
I'd have to go scouring through my gallery anyway. It'd be a pain in the ass.
We'll
I
upload that
never
on,
really took a
on
lot
Twitter.
of progress pics, but that is one that I do have.
Wait, we have 6 patrons. Whoa, hold up.
Wow.
Huh?
Do you have their names? Can you shout them out quickly while we're here?
I don't have their names, unfortunately. That's Cunique stuff.
That's sorry. I'm so sorry,
Blame
patrons.
Cuniques. He has prioritized his vehicle.
Actually,
over
I'll DM him
everyone
real
today.
quick so we can give him a shout out.
We'll put the names up at the beginning of the
We'll
cast.
get 'em,
Anyways,
we'll get 'em.
they're gonna be little.
Mr.
they'll be
Cuniques
there.
is he has to move soon, and he needs his car, and his car is broke, so he has a good excuse not to be here. He's fixing his vehicle, and this is like one of the few days he can get one of his friends who can help him free of charge. So I understand.
In actuality, he said word for word, "This Roidie guy scares the fuck out of me. I don't want to be on the cast this week."
He did say
He
that.
did say that, yeah. We were just covering up.
Yeah.
He's almost more
sorry.
intimidated to meet you than he was to meet Bodhi, and he was very intimidated to meet Bodhi.
Has Bodhi been on the
Intimidating
podcast?
Bodhi.
No, but in real life, because we all hung out at TwitchCon. Which
Yeah,
you should have
Bodhi.
came to. Why didn't you come to TwitchCon, bro? We would have tore it up.
TwitchCon, I would only be going there to see the RuneScape people, and like,
Yeah, that's
all
no
we
one
did.
cares
That's
about
what
the
we did.
care
convention.
about the actual convention.
That's what it's
No,
for.
I went to the convention for an hour and a half. That was it.
I am not a social guy. Don't get it twisted. I am as introverted as they come.
Is that why you just killed that entire bottle of wine?
Of necessity, not out of desire, man. Like, you're not going to get the real me if there's not a bottle of wine.
Hey, listen, do what you need to, you know. I didn't really know Ignoble until he was about 5 lines deep, so you know.
Whoa, drinks.
Drinks.
Deep.
Lines of drinks.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just rows of shots. Yeah.
It's
It's a wine and
lines.
The bar, there were so many people at the bar. It was a long line.
The lines were insane.
So long.
I feel like I've gotten to know so many people like so much better because of, we were doing lots of drinks and other things. Just like, you're like, holy shit.
I've never
gotten
gotten closer to a lot of the people in the RuneScape community than in the bathroom, you know?
Yeah.
The bathroom is the place.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
100%, bro.
And then you see your own reflection. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
No, I don't look at the mirror, actually. I
Don't look in the mirror. It's a trap.
That's when the
I'm in
demons
this
come.
shit. Jesus.
When the dude in the mirror is like looking back at me, that's a little too scary. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, what you looking at, man? But I know you said you went to RuneFest. Any other events you've ever gone to where you've met up with other creators? Party, any, maybe meet up with one person specifically, or in a group or whatnot.
No, because I'm from Maine originally, and nobody lives in Maine except for me originally. And then I came to Florida, and I've not met anybody here. And the only event I've been to is the RuneFest. I didn't go to the TwitchCon, obviously, and I've never met up with anybody here either.
Do you like to gamble?
I do not. No.
Good.
If I gave you $100, would you gamble it?
Ooh.
I mean, I'd like throw it all on Doge, maybe, but that's a gamble.
Not even just an hour of blackjack.
You gotta throw it on red
on.
if you're gonna throw it all,
Hey, it's red or dead.
Oh,
I'm not about that. I have responsible investments.
I do too. I've never actually gambled my own money, but I will say, sitting next to Tasty at the blackjack table, top 10 experiences.
It's a good time. We get a little
I'm
wild out
excited
there.
to do it again this year.
I hate gambling. I'm so pissed that it's gonna be in Vegas.
I'm pretty pissed,
so
too.
pissed.
It's not.
Like, I'm gonna go, but I think so. Yeah. I thought it was.
It was
It's
a leaked.
TwitchCon Las Vegas.
It was
confirmed, yeah.
leaked, but yeah, it's like it was a leaked confirmation essentially.
Would you ever go to a TwitchCon, do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it was like proximal enough. But right now, though, just logistically, that would be a pain in the ass because I've got a cat and I've got a dog living here as well. And I don't really have like a contact for accommodations for them. So like I can't leave anywhere.
Fair.
You could bring them.
Pets will do that.
Fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they'd love that.
They
Yeah.
would. We would house them.
My cat
I would
loves
them all
car
day long
rides.
if you needed it.
Now, my cat hates most things.
Are you a cat guy? Is you a big cat guy?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big cat guy. I love cats.
You guys don't see the
I
Natalie
like dogs
pictures?
too, but
Come on.
I prefer cats. What was that, Zoe?
I said, you guys don't see the Natalie pictures? Come on.
Oh, we see the Natalie pictures.
80% of my tweets is my cat.
Yeah.
Is it your Discord profile too?
Yeah,
Then
it's
you
a
came in as
Discord
a cat?
profile picture.
Yeah, that's your face.
Okay. It's coming together now. It's coming together.
Does that lean into the world of you also liking cat girls, or no on that?
Ooh.
That does not lean into that world. I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have to apologize. Same here. Like I'm not really pro.
Sure, T-Papa, whatever,
I
dude.
say before
Yeah.
we get
Just bringing it up
away,
just
should we
because.
ask, since T-Pop just asked that, should we ask the question? Go
Oh,
ahead
you
and-
brought it
Well,
up.
Raw Dogger, I think we got to warm him up a little bit. We can't just ask the question.
Yeah,
Wait,
we gotta.
Well,
Yeah,
let's warm up a
we gotta
little bit.
Yeah,
What are we working on here?
There's
Let's
a
get to the
question.
heart of the matter.
We'll get to
Move
it.
it up a little bit.
Hold on,
Don't go in dry, bro.
How
Come on.
many more bottles of wine do you have?
Yeah, how's your love life?
This is,
So many things all at once.
you all know
Yeah.
the way it is. I've been sat here now this whole time, but if I were to like go to the other room, I'd be like, I just drank a bottle of wine.
loading line. You would definitely.
You know the feeling when you get up and move.
Yeah.
So that's what hitting
It's
a
an IRL loading line, bro.
That's an IRL loading line.
I was gonna ask you said you're introverted, right? As you see
Yeah,
yourself as a very
big time.
introverted person. Streamers tend to be typically very extroverted. Why do you think you're so successful as a streamer while being an introvert?
Relatability, I would say it comes down to. Because like a lot of people who are viewers, especially in this category, are probably going to be on the introverted side. So they can kind of connect with me in a way that maybe they can't with more extroverted people. And that, like, being an introvert, I'm never going to be like a 20K viewer kind of exuberant guy, but like I can occupy my space as an introvert and have people that are there to see me for who I am.
Real.
I like that answer. That's good.
Yeah. No.
Satisfactory.
I wouldn't say that most streamers are extroverts. I think it's easier to look like an extrovert when you're alone in your room. You know?
Yeah, for
100%.
sure.
Yeah, and you're bouncing
But
off
that being
anything the
said,
chat gives you.
If I'm with other introverts, I will assume the extrovert role to alleviate the pressure from them.
Ambiverts.
Oh yeah.
Versatile.
I think everyone falls like somewhere in the middle. No one's like completely introverted, completely extroverted. It's just when we met a lot of people at TwitchCon, a lot of streamers there, you're like, okay, everyone's very, very, very social. To like, I couldn't see any of those people being extremely introverted.
Yeah, well, okay, streaming actually made me like way more extroverted. Way more extroverted.
Yeah.
I still describe myself as like a heavy on the introvert side because like I enjoy social interaction, but I can only do it for like 3 to 4 hours. And then I'm like, I want to go home. I want to go sit in my room alone.
I need the time alone because I'm very extroverted, but there's definitely that time where I just like to, where I just want to hate people for like 3 or 4 hours and sit in my room.
Introversion and extroversion was once explained to me as like the way that you regain your energy. Some people get more energy from being with other people, and introverts get more energy from being alone, which makes sense.
Yeah, because when I started playing RuneScape, I lived with 2 extroverted alcoholics, which is like just every single weekend. Max, come out. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna do agility.
Casey's like in his room with the door locked. Like, stop.
Literally, though, they come in. They'd be drunk. They'd like put their hand. They'd be like, "You should do this for 3 weeks," and I'm like, "I'm gonna do it for 3 more, motherfucker. I get 99 agility."
Can you max in like a year?
A year and a half, yeah.
It's fucking wild, dude.
It's pretty quick. It was because I hated my life and my job, and I was very introverted.
Did you smoke?
Yeah. Did you have like
I was gonna say
diagnosed depression?
No,
bro.
Like,
he told me this story, man. He told me this story. He was getting paid. He was working full time from home, and he was doing like 2 hours of work a day and getting paid a full day to just max. He told me this whole story. Like he was getting paid full time and just maxing his account.
That was on like the tail end of my job, but that was a good few months, and it was incredible. No, like looking back, I wouldn't say I had depression. It was just because my job fucking sucked, and I had no free time. Like there was no like inner hatred I was dealing with. I hated everything like about the circumstance that I was in because of my job, and then I quit. And like I didn't even start streaming. I had no backup plan. I was immediately like, oh, this is the best day ever. I was like, this is the best day of my life.
I couldn't imagine having to work 15 minutes a day and then play RuneScape. That sucks.
It was rough.
Terrible, yeah.
It was rough. Yeah. Yeah, but before that, for 2 years, I was getting called racial slurs on the phone by people who probably were into their sister. Like I was getting abused.
What demographic were you selling?
Yeah. Why are you getting called racial? You're like the whitest man I know.
Yeah,
so there was a whole region. I worked in sales and marketing, and I basically sold advertising packages. So like sold and managed these advertising packages for home professionals like interior designers or general contractors. And then I was assigned this whole region one time that was like this big southern region, and everyone was a general contractor, and they were all just so racist. And like that's when I was called every slur under the sun. Like I'm not even kidding. I called a guy one time and like asked him if he could take on more work or something. He's like, "You got me a truck full of 15 Mexicans and call me back, brother." And I was like, well, "Okay, I'm gonna hang up." I'm gonna hang up. So it was a very colorful job for sure, but yeah, it fucking sucked.
Yeah. Shout out not working.
You got to max your account during it, so
I did, yeah. I would bring my phone in because when we were in office, I would just do the Nightmare Zone thing, you know.
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I worked a job at one point where like during like I was working in the hotel, and this was like COVID times, like, when nothing was happening. It was fucking empty hotel. I was literally sitting at a desk, bring my laptop and just skill for like, this was right when I started my Ironman. This is like just 6 hours a day of like doing the most mundane, boring skilling, but feeling like I'm fulfilled because I'm getting paid to do it. And everyone's like, how are you progressing so fast? And like, how do you work full time and then come home and stream and like still progress your account? I'm like, well, there's a secret to it.
I think post-COVID, the definition of working full-time has changed completely. Cause working from home now.
It's not what it used to be.
Good point.
Yeah.
See, at the beginning of pandemic stuff, when everybody started working from home, I had already been a streamer for quite a long time at that point, and I knew not a lot of people are equipped for that degree of autonomy, like in their work life, like having to like wake up and do your actual job for X amount of time. Like I was like, a lot of people are going to struggle with this big time, and that definitely came to fruition.
I'm so bad at that.
I think we're all good enough at it. I mean, we're here,
Streamers
That's
have
true.
to be,
They're here.
but like people who are working regular jobs and just like kind of fucking off for like 7 out of 8 hours.
They can fuck off.
They fucked off in our Twitch chat, so
That's true.
Really.
Yeah, COVID was the best thing to ever happen to me. I hate to say it, but
okay, maybe
second best.
Maybe reword it.
Maybe
I started
not
streaming
put that out of context, bro. Huh?
I started
I'm
streaming
gonna
a little
keep
bit
that
later.
honestly.
Like I think my channel's like really primed for the next COVID. Like I think I'm ready to like.
Devolve engineering a disease.
Give it like 2 years, man.
Bro,
Andy,
I swear.
I need diseased blood from the hospital. Andy, please.
Bro, I swear, one more global pandemic, I'm surely getting partnered.
Easily, Hamilton. Easily, dude.
Push for partner COVID edition.
It's not easy.
I'm still lingering on whatever the topic is you're trying to wean me into.
How's your love life? Do you have you seen anyone?
Yeah, I wanted to ask.
You getting laid recently? What's going on?
It was Valentine's Day recently. Is there anybody special in your life?
I mean, I had a Valentine, but I wouldn't really I wouldn't linger on that fact.
What do you mean by that? You speak so cryptically.
Fuck? Are you saying
Intentionally so?
Is it another streamer? Is that why? You hiding something?
No, fuck. I would never be with another streamer, man.
Are they in the room with us right now?
That's a good call.
Imagine living with another streamer. Like, hey, your career is dying, but I'm not going to tell you. Like, it just seems so terrible living with another streamer.
you don't live like Noble? That's crazy.
Bro,
Yeah, he's gonna be a doctor. Bro. He's gonna be a doctor.
Hey, man, what the fuck?
Ignoble, when you're a millionaire, can you just remember how much I didn't talk shit? All right, that's all I want.
All right.
Remember who supplied you all those lines of beers. All right, remember that. Ignoble, when you're a millionaire.
That's true.
You remember who would get you out of jail, though?
You never did get him out of jail. What do you mean, bro?
I mean,
what the fuck, man?
This is a theoretical, bro. So you have no ladyberries on the lady front.
What do you mean
to
by
be serious,
Valentine?
though,
Is that a one-night thing? Is that what that means?
No.
You hire a
hey,
hooker?
You want to be my Valentine? Sure. I'm not big on kiss and tell. I think that's disrespectful to the people with whom I have or girls specifically with whom I have a relationship.
You're confirming there is someone.
No.
Oh God, he's so good.
He's not confirming, but
He's not denying.
possible.
He's not saying
Dude, Roidie could be like the press secretary for the White House. You know?
Just giving bullshit answers one after another.
I swear there was oil there. We did it for a reason.
Were you when you were in college? Were you more promiscuous, or did you have a girlfriend?
I would say I was more promiscuous to a degree that maybe I'm not super fond of nowadays.
That's fair.
Are you familiar with the term Riz?
I am, because I've had it explained to me by viewers who are younger. I had to ask.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm
like, all right.
I'm 27.
Okay, yeah, most of us are.
You're not old.
If you would have said 35, all of us would have believed you.
I wouldn't
I would not
Ever
have
since
fucking
I
believed
was
it,
like
bro.
a young streamer. It's like, hey, what?
He said he was in college in like 2017.
Yeah,
I
he said 35. I would have flipped out of the chair and rolled backward, bro. Like, ain't no way.
I graduated high school in 2013. It's been a decade.
Same.
Oh God, why'd you have to say that? It has been like a decade, huh?
Yeah, our 10-year reunion is coming up. Are you going to go to your 10-year reunion?
Probably not, man. Like, there's a lot of people from my class who like think what I do is like super cool, and I'm like, I don't like you. Don't talk to me.
I don't like you.
Honest man.
Yeah, that met up with
the number of people I care about for my graduating class, because I had a graduating class of like 110, pretty small school. It's like, if I want to hang out with these guys, I'm going to reach out to these guys. I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah. Did you ever get bullied for your weight when you were younger?
I kind of was a bully, to be fair.
What?
I wasn't the bully. I was the bully.
Lore is going so
the fat
deep.
Bully.
How did you bully people?
Because I never like wore my physical state as a hindrance to my self-confidence. Like I've always been kind of a cocky asshole. So I would never say I was like a mean bully, but there is definitely some people that I could have treated better. Me and my friend group.
Is that why you're so like calm and measured now? It's because like you look back on that and you're like, I don't like my behavior, so now I'm going to.
No, I'll still bully a motherfucker.
Okay.
Like, if somebody comes into their chat and they think they're hot shit, and like I can tell they've always been a nerd, and they think the anonymity of Twitch chat's gonna save them, I'll bully that motherfucker.
Good.
Yo,
but that's not
bring
bullying.
back
That's
bullying
just, like,
online,
honesty.
dude. That is what some
people in
kids
Twitch chat
fucking
need bullying, dude. They do.
We are all
Absolutely,
big
they
I don't think
proponents
it's
of
bullying at that
here.
point. You're just reciprocating the same energy at that point. Because if you're
Semantics.
bullying, you'd be singling them out for like it would be unfair.
Oh yeah, no, I'll always treat somebody with respect unless they disrespect me, and then I'm going for the throat. Skidler
Or
style.
if they're
Likewise.
ultimate Iron Man.
Skidler do be doing that, dude. Holy dude.
Would you ever punch somebody in the face at RuneFest like Skidler did?
What?
Did he
If
really?
the situation was right? Yeah.
Yeah, he did do that.
Didn't he punch Grosgore in the face?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a
that guy
was a whole big
crazy.
thing around that.
I thought Grosgore and his group of friends jumped onto Skidler. Like they all were like.
Yeah, I think Skidler. I think the story is that Skidler was like outnumbered by a group of them, and like it was a whole big scuffle.
Oh,
But if Skidler could meet Grosgore one-on-one, he would fucking kill him, like for sure.
Oh yeah,
True.
100%.
Surely he wins that fight. Hopefully.
Fair.
Yeah, Skidler's a big guy. He's like 6'1", 6'2", 200 plus.
Sheesh.
Goddamn.
So you would punch someone in the face?
Oh yeah, even a woman.
Hell
Let's
dude,
go.
I like this guy, dude.
Oh my god, he fits right in.
He's so
He's loosened up. We got him.
Oh
Boys.
my god, dude.
All right. In case you can pop the question now.
Now that we
got
can
him right
start,
where he
you know?
Is he loose enough to pop the question? Should I?
No, absolutely not. He is not
You don't
moved
think
up.
so?
No, yeah, you gotta say
You
it.
just said he's gonna punch a woman in the
He's
face.
ready to punch Zoe in the face. Now's the time.
I don't think it's gonna be Zoe.
Hit it.
Out of
Hit it.
equality, more like you can't expect no retaliation for your bad behavior. I'm not into punching women.
If you give the smoke, you get the smoke.
We
That's
finally
totally
found out
fair.
his hobby.
Equal rights and equal lefts, baby. You know what it is.
I never heard that. That was good.
You never heard that? It's a classic TikTokism.
Fantastic.
Okay, well now they're all getting canceled. You sure you don't want to pop the question? I feel like it might be a good time.
Send it. If you're not fucking blow it.
You
Blow
want to
up,
send
dude.
it?
Don't listen to him. Well, he's a coward. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead,
All right,
Doug.
Mr. Roidie. There's a question that we ask every single guest on this podcast. And now it's your turn. Are you aware of what an Eiffel Tower is in the sexual sense?
Yes.
If you had to choose one other person in this call to complete your Eiffel Tower, you're on one side, the other person on the other, and just a random whoever in the middle, whoever you want, doesn't matter. Who would you pick?
Zoe.
Damn.
That was pretty fast. That's a good call too.
I wasn't ready for that, honestly.
Wow.
That's a pretty good call.
I don't play nice with other guys.
I don't know. You might be in,
He
for
One
Zoe.
ticked that, bro.
Oh my
That
god,
was-
yeah.
I've gotten like
Wow.
3 now, right? I'm getting up
Yeah,
there.
you're probably in first place. You were
Yeah,
set.
I'd be in
Probably,
first place.
I was
Wow.
probably, you probably overtaken me. You've been
It's a
getting all
double
lately.
standard, but it's one I will adhere to.
Oh, that's
fair.
valid.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I would just like to believe that people just envision me with the metaphorical strap on. You know, it's just kind of my vibe that I like to give off. So it really
Yeah.
is an honor. Means a lot. Thank you.
Well, I think that is the implication. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a pretty monogamous guy, so I'd rather not envision the scenario at all. But
just theoretically,
It's all theoretical. Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking in tongues.
If you had to, you would punch a woman in her face. You would.
theoretically.
Theoretically.
And since Roidie's down,
Back against the wall.
I look up to Roidie.
Answer that quickly.
The question is supposed to come off as more as not just like a purely in like a sexual sense, but who would you, have a good time with?
It's a vibe thing.
Who passes your vibe? Yeah, who would you vibe with the most?
Yeah.
It's like you could ask, who would you want to go out, grab a drink with, have a night on the town? That's not as fun as asking, like, who would you Eiffel Tower with?
Yeah. Honestly, me and Ignoble, I think we'd kill it. I think we'd do a good job together.
Oh, we'd fucking.
There'd be some comedic relief in there for sure.
Yeah, it'd be a fun time. Like no pressure. Everyone.
I would definitely smack your ass. Like, keep it up, boy.
You know what? It'd be great. It'd be great.
They'd be kissing.
It's like. It's like.
And it wouldn't be like sloppy kid. It would be like cute, like good job, buddy.
I can see that for sure.
Good job, man.
That's how the Eiffel Tower's completed, right? You don't high five. You have to kiss on top, right?
You have to connect at the top.
I guess that's a way. I've not heard of the kissing technique, but I guess
it's like you turn the lights off. It's like the chick gets up, turns the lights back on. It's still me and Tasty on the under the covers. It's like,
can you turn the lights back off, please?
No, I can definitely see that 100%.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna throw this back at you, Tasty. Or maybe I could field it to everybody, but Tasty specifically, I want to know: lights on or lights off?
Low light, mid light. Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Lights on is way too sterile. Lights off, like I want to see her butthole a little bit, like, but you got to do like low lights,
You want
full lights on.
You're going full lights on.
Overhead?
Because you want to look at yourself?
Full on with a mirror.
That's alpha male. Okay, that's a good answer.
That's some American Psycho shit. I can see.
You want to know? You want to know what I got? That's game changing. I got the
Roof
LED
mirror.
I got the LED, not LED. It's like it's color changing lights, and so I hit it with and it's all controlled by Alexa. So I go like Alexa bedroom lights magenta and 10%, so it dims it down and it's like magenta, and like that's like
you got the e-girl lights, bro.
It is like that. That's just this is tips from just
I shot it on a Miller Lite and I just throw this on right here. Where's it at? Wait. Here we go.
What the hell is that?
What do you have disco lights in your room for?
bro, she's gonna have a fucking seizure in your bed, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if she's coming or having epileptic seizure. It doesn't.
Bro, you didn't ask her if she has epilepsy. Like,
yeah, I feel like if you ask a girl that, like, hey, I want to take you home, but do you have epilepsy by chance? Is that a mood killer? Like,
It's a valid question.
Yeah, I'm gonna have people come into my chat for months referencing certain parts of this podcast.
Oh yeah,
they sure will.
100%.
Not a single clue what they're on about. I've forgotten the
Have you
entire
done
thing.
the Sebe cast?
Yeah, I did say Baycast. I'll probably do it again pretty soon, I would imagine.
When did you do the Sebe cast?
Mushrooms or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably better part of a year ago.
Okay, so it was a while ago.
I assume his form of questions was a little different than ours.
It was mainly RuneScape focused, yeah.
There was a lot of fitness in there too. I remember.
If you go back, if you go back for another round, it's going to be mostly mushroom focused, and it's going to be a good pun.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, he's fully moved. I saw his.
I got a bit to say.
Yeah. We already spent our. Wait, go ahead.
Can you leak it? Can we talk about mushrooms?
I don't like drugs.
That's
I
fair.
support everybody's use of drugs.
Ignoble.
But I don't think that people should linger on the use of them, if that makes sense. I think you should learn your lessons and then bring those back to reality. And if you continue to use them, anything, really.
Okay.
Hallucinogens especially. I think they are inherently a good thing that most people should do, but I think most people continue to use them past the point that they're useful.
Oh,
if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Like when I first started smoking weed, it was one of the nights, like literally one of the first ones is like kind of where I decided I wanted to stream. I still smoke weed. Definitely should have dropped that, but like, you know, it was it was a
I was gonna say, I think you're past.
it was definitely like, I remember I was laying in bed cooked, like out of my mind, and I was like, you know what, I should just do it tomorrow. And then I did. Like, it was like a super high thought, and then, you know, then it worked out.
And here we are.
Yeah. But like,
I mean, converting those thoughts into reality puts you into a minority. Usually it's just all talk.
That's
Actually
a good
acting
point.
on the epiphanies is a big deal.
That's why I stopped smoking weed.
That's I mean, acting on it is the whole thing. I mean, dude, I'll credit mushrooms with me not failing out of college, like 100%. Like, I was on the brink.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Did you have like a bad trip or like a deep trip or what?
No, it's my first trip ever, and it was like I don't know. I mean, I had the whole, you know, funny, laughy, goofy, whatnot, and like when it was all over, I was sitting there and I was like, wow, dude, like, you know, my parents are paying money for me to be here and like get an education, and all I've been doing is being a big shithead, and like I should really like focus more of my time towards academics. And then, you know, I mean, it didn't like continue through the whole thing, but like I had my best semester then, and like I never really topped my GPA of that semester, but you know, I carried enough to like, you know, a respectable grades throughout the rest of my time. And I really was on the fucking border of like, I was about to get sent home. Like I had to pick my shit up.
That's fair. And we talked about that before as like drugs being like the conduit to facilitate that like thought, but obviously at the end of the day, it's you acting on it. But definitely, like he said, it could be good as like a one-off thing to learn whatever you need to teach you the lesson you need.
I think anything that gives a sort of ego death in a way where you can like try to remove yourself from so many real world things. Like, because I didn't want to go live because I didn't want my IRL friends to see that I went live. And so when I was cooked, I was like, oh, I'll just go make a new account. And then because they followed my other account that I would use like as a chatter.
Just make a new account.
Yeah, so then I just like made the new account. And I just didn't, you know, I started to think like, oh, I don't care if my friends want to make fun of me, but I needed the drugs. Well, I didn't need them, but they definitely helped.
I will certainly not leak my stream identity to anybody I know in real life, just because like I don't want those two worlds to cross. But I used to care a lot more about that than I do now, I would say. Like now I don't really care, but like before, like I didn't want anybody that I actually knew to see me on stream like presenting my realist self. Like you can't see that aspect of me.
That does bring up a good topic though. Like, what is that like? I'm sure, like, you know, as you've grown over time, there's been more of your people that you've known IRL that have popped up in your stream. Like, what is that like for you? You know, having close friends or maybe just like people maybe you grew up with randoms like popping in. How's that been for you?
It's very limited, but it's all been positive. Like, I would say the number of people who have just like come across me organically that I used to know are all people that I kind of care about. And if they've been very responsive to it, like, hey, I'm so glad that things are working the way they are for you. And I would say there's been basically no negative aspects to it.
I essentially had my childhood bully come into my stream one time, and that was crazy. And he came into my whispers.
Because of my video?
No. Really? Well, that was the other crazy one. That was my because I didn't want to tell anyone either. I just didn't want. I didn't tell anybody in my life besides like immediate family until I got partnered, because I didn't want them to look at it like some sort of joke, you know, because I was taking it extremely seriously. And so that's when I was in one of your YouTube videos, and one of my groomsmen from my wedding was watching your video, and he's like, "You play and stream RuneScape, and you've been hiding it for how long?" He was like upset, but like I guess I had like my best friend that I worked with every day. I didn't tell him that I was streaming until I got affiliate, but then I realized like, I guess like my two closest friends kind of carried my chat really hard in the beginning. Like,
shout out.
Did you guys have that at all?
There's always those few people. There's always those few people who just like do all the talking.
Yeah.
And then you get sick of like a couple of them and you're like, just stop fucking talking, please.
Your first real taste of screaming.
Like grateful for their presence, but wish it was anybody else.
Yeah.
I had a friend's brother come into the stream, Or no, he didn't even come to the stream. He found me in game. He tracked me down in game, and he's like, "When I saw you on a Behemoth video, or like I guess at the time it was who was before Behemoth? It was the RS Moments. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was like, I saw you on an RS Moments video, and I did like a quadruple take. I was like, is that Connor from real life? Like, what the fuck? I didn't even know you streamed.
Yeah, does your family know? Like, do your parents and close friends know that you're a streamer? I'm assuming.
Oh, they do. It's not like they really tune in though.
Yeah, I'm glad
my oldest brother does like sometimes just to like keep tabs on me because he used to play RuneScape for like a year back in 2005 or whatever.
Nice.
My dad sometimes does, much to my chagrin.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like any super negative interaction with a chatter or somebody who's trying to like dox you or DDoS you or etc. Anything like that?
No, I'll put a motherfucker in his place right away. I've never had like a lingering banter with somebody.
Good.
Yeah, that is a good thing. I had one person find me. It's funny because they found me through something on Facebook. Or no, it was from the photo I posted with you guys on Facebook when we took the jet.
You use Facebook?
I don't.
Facebook user?
I really don't. I posted the jet
boomer,
just to be honest. I talked about it on
Posted
on the homie hour when I went on with making Lopsy, and I said I hadn't used Facebook in a couple of years. I just posted the photo of us with the jet just to flex on my relatives.
As one does, yeah.
And then
Of
someone messaged me that I knew from high school, and they're like, "That's Tasty. That's Qneeks. That's named everybody." And they're like, "You know them?" Like I was like, "The fuck, bro?"
I remember this.
Like I streamed too.
That is insane.
Yeah, he named every single person in that photo. Was like, "Oh, I know all of them. They're all RuneScape streamers. How'd you become friends with them?" I was like, "All right, bro." He's like, I watch Behemoth all the time. I was like, "I've been on Behemoth."
I got a story just like that. A friend from college was like, he texted me one time, like, "How's the whole streaming thing going?" I was like, "I'm doing a group hardcore Iron Man with Foe, Mamble, and Curtis," and he's like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" Those three guys. Like, I've been watching those guys for years. You're with them? No way.
It is crazy though to kind of look back, like even knowing that you were a fan of Foe before you started. Sometimes I have these moments being like, why am I just talking to Bodhi right now? Like what is going on? How did we get to this point? It's very cool to see it all come full circle.
Bodhi's one person where just about everybody in the RuneScape category can say the same thing about him.
Yeah.
That like they can attribute some degree of their success to him and just consider him like a close personal friend.
He's Jordan.
Yeah.
He's Jordan of RuneScape.
He's Jordan now.
He's the Michael Jordan of RuneScape.
Like I have met Bodhi once over the span of a few days, and I think of him as one of my best friends in the world.
Aww.
He's so nice. He really is.
He's very humble. Very humble.
And I was also his most watched streamer last year. So
Whoa.
throw that out there.
That's a flex.
big.
That's a hard flex.
That is a hard flex.
That's a large flex.
Sheesh.
That is a large flex. Yeah, I know he's talked about you on stream a good amount of times about like how good you are at CG and stuff, and he's showed praise.
He overrates me, to be fair. He thinks I'm better than I am.
And now he's being humbled too. My God.
So cute.
I'm really good at this game, but
That's what we want to hear.
I've been playing this game for 20 years. If I'm not at least okay, then fuck me.
Have you been
That's valid.
20
That's
years?
honestly true.
I'd hope
I
you're
started
fucking good
it
at that
like
point,
late
bro.
03, 04.
Holy
How
shit.
did you start playing?
A friend showed me the game because his older brother showed him, and he showed me in turn, and I still blame him to this day. He ruined my life.
Yeah.
But it also gave you the best career you've ever had.
That's true. That's true. Any career I've ever had in my life, I've had many shitty jobs. Many, many, many. Streaming is the only thing where I can keep doing it day to day and not just hate my life, which for me is as good as it gets.
What was one of
What
the
are
worst
the other
jobs
kind
you
of
had?
jobs you had? Yeah, other than old women staring at your thighs. What are the other ones?
I've probably had like 7 or 8 blue collar or slightly above jobs, which I think is very important for character building. I wish everybody could have some shitty jobs in their life. And one thing I always say
Cool.
is that I wish every politician like maybe you get like 1 or 2 terms in Congress, but if you want a 3rd term, you're doing 2 years at Wendy's. Like something like that.
You gotta work in an Amazon warehouse.
We
You
should
gotta
also,
earn what it's
we should
like
also
for the
send
people that
T-Papa
you're
and
representing.
Tasty to Wendy's as well.
Well, okay,
We
hold
need
on.
it.
I actually, my very first job, I worked in a warehouse. I worked in a warehouse for a whole summer when I was 14 years old.
That
Packing
should not be
boxes.
legal.
I've loaded trucks as well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, packing boxes. I did a little bit of loading trucks, breaking down boxes. Like it was the worst job I've ever had.
I didn't have
also
blue,
because I was a child.
I didn't have blue collar, but like I did a year doing billing for a call center CenturyLink. Like that was.
Oh,
College
You also
must have been
survived
on
in
your back.
Marcel. Yeah.
Must have been off on your back and your
worst.
legs. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You must suffer physical pain,
was-
T-Papa. It's the
sorry.
only way.
I mean, I walked like 10 miles a day in Mexico, but I guess that doesn't matter. That's okay.
yeah, bro, you were saving
Unlimited
souls,
money.
dude. You were
That was
saving
so
souls.
funny.
That's tough work, man.
The hardest part of my life was when I was in Mexico with unlimited money.
Bro, the thing about that is Mick's just salty as hardcore is dead, and he's just grasping at just like anything now. He's just making whatever.
That's cracked me up.
I feel like being a missionary would be kind of a tough job, though. No?
Yeah, T-Papa's a
Bro,
Mormon
it was-
missionary. This is what we're referencing.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was a Mormon missionary for 2 years in Mexico. It was, it was hard. There was good times and there was bad times. Damn.
I'm sure you learned a lot. I won't downplay it.
Yeah.
I actually just listened to that podcast with Tasty and T-Pop on the Mick Homie podcast. That's the one.
That was a fun one.
And T-Pop, I heard you converted almost 300 people into Mormonism.
Bro, it was
300 confirmed baptisms.
Dude, it was like 270 something. And did you see they uploaded that as a short on YouTube and just like the amount of hate in those comments? I don't know why I read that, dude. They were mad. They're like, this guy he's so proud of the lies that he spread. And I'm just like,
I mean, are they wrong?
Like
Wait, hang on, hang on.
270 something
T-Papa,
people in
probing question. Probing question for you.
yeah.
What are your overall thoughts on the increasingly secular nature of Western society, on our morals and our mental health?
Very interesting. See, I think I think the world is better when people have morals built in Christianity or some type of religion, because I know it influenced me to be a good kid. Like I didn't do a lot of really bad things when I was young, and I was nice, and I think it was great structure. But I think there's just, when you get into religion, I just think so many things can end up going wrong. And I definitely have like PTSD is a word I think it's tossed around too much these days, but like there's definitely like some traumas that I have from growing up in a religious household that I wish I didn't have. And my wife would say the same thing. We met at Mormon college, and we've over the last year kind of distanced ourselves from the church. And we talk about like having kids, like dang, like there was really good things, but I don't know. It's so hard. I think the world needs it, but at the same time, it's not perfect, so it's difficult.
Why? I have a question.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like growing up with that religious background made you more obedient? What was it about the religious part that actually convinced you as like a young child to adhere to rules?
I guess it was just like I honestly think like you kind of just get this mentality of, okay, like if I do X, Y, and Z, I'll get back into heaven. And I think that's, like when you don't have a concept as a child of like the meaning of life, and you have, authority figures in your life, whether it be parents or people in the community being like, yeah, like you got to be a good guy to get back into heaven because that's where Jesus is. Like, that's what you want. And so I base decisions off that. And like, hey, if my mom and dad are going to get into heaven when I die, I want to be with my mom and dad. So like, I want to be a good kid growing up. I think that would be my answer. Is that good?
It's think it's
Sorry, that makes sense. Sorry, that makes sense. That was that good.
It's like an ultimatum that's like supersedes life.
Yeah.
So and you're a kid and you're naive and you don't know. Like I remember when my parents told me like that I'm gonna die one day. I was distraught.
What do you mean?
I remember like asking my mom, I was like, do we die one day? And she's like, yeah, you're gonna die one day. And I just remember being so upset. And then I would like, how do I continue life? That's what I kept asking. Like I was like, how do I like? Is there something I can do after this? Like, what can I do? So I get what Tupac
Religion is a great way for a lot of people to build their like morals. Like a lot of morals are built around it, right? Like why you're doing certain actions because you can go to heaven or. Okay.
Just kidding.
I would agree. I think I arrived at my own personal morals through my upbringing, which was not religious, and
right
in like a spiritual sense. But those morals are ultimately exactly in line with whatever any religion teaches. So if you arrive at those same morals through some religion that, I mean, it's kind of arbitrary, whatever it is, then I don't care. Like, as long as you are a good person at the end of the day, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree.
I think as you become older too, it becomes more like common sense. Like the wrong and right, a lot of it is pretty black and white. Like what's wrong, what's right. Obviously, there's some gray area with a lot of different things, and that's why we're humans and we argue about everything. But for the most part, and like the grand scheme, it's pretty clear what's bad and what's good. At least in my opinion.
All Abrahamic religions are very similar, and people who think otherwise don't know a lot about them.
Yeah,
I would
pretty
argue
much.
Maybe I'm
too,
generalizing.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same.
Oh yeah.
I am like
Maybe
a
I'm
pretty
generalizing use of
anti-religion
religion here.
person in like the present day, but I do feel like the fact that many of hundreds of thousands or whatever years ago, people set down a rule of like, ground rules for what good morality is, I feel like was very useful because as humans, we're pretty barbaric in nature, There is a world in which religion never happened, and we all think that killing people is still totally fine. We all think we can, hang people on trees and it's all good, But
I would argue against that actually.
really?
I'm going to be a contrarian. Well, okay. I took a class in college about like the basis of it was a very interesting class, like the basis of morality. And there was some presentation, I forgot who presented us, but essentially it was a presentation on how if you look at all the religions across the world, the moral structures tend to all be pretty much the same. And there's a reason for that. I mean, you could argue that the reason is because, God made that like the rules, like that's how it goes. But there's also an argument made from an evolutionary perspective, a biological perspective, with something called a group selection. So there's natural selection is how like, certain traits tend to be preferred over generations and generations. So they're bred into existence. The same can also be said for cultural and like social traits. So if you have a big, group of like villagers over here and they're all working together, they're strong, they don't kill each other, they don't like take each other's foods, they're sharing everything. And then they go to war with like a tribe that is just complete chaos where it's, like strength is everything you can take from your neighbor. They're going to splinter more easily and they'll likely beat the tribe that is in chaos. This is like a super high level overview, but that's the general basis for the formation of morality, is it helps you to help other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do. I also
how does
listened
that
to some
lead
study about like
into-
orangutans of how, of what
I
a
love
world would be
orangutans.
like. Of what a world would be like if
scared of
everybody was
orangutans.
living that chaotic sort of lifestyle. And it's possible.
that-
I mean, we are still fighting wars, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I'm not
True.
saying it's perfect, but it's a
All
long
right,
line.
so pardon my obscene drunkenness, because probably nothing that I'm going to say is going to make sense. But I prescribe to the theory that all religions are basically founded in the fact that to those of you who have done or who have had psychedelic experiences, you will accept that there are things that you come to understand during those experiences that you cannot bring back. You cannot convey what it is that you learn to anybody because it just sounds like complete gibberish.
Yeah.
Like there are things that make such sense to you in that state, but it just doesn't make sense when you try to speak it to other people. that most religions and all of these tales and fairy tales we have from the ancestors from which we are derived were their way of taking these spiritual truths and kind of turning them into stories that could perhaps make sense to those to whom they are told, to try to represent these ideas that cannot really be expressed through any other means than in our minds.
Yeah, almost certainly. Yeah.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the interesting thing.
Sometimes.
Really, yeah, no, religion was like, I don't think it's good or evil. It was necessary. It was a tool.
I think where it is really good nowadays, from what I saw with my interactions with people, is I think it helps people who need something to, like, they need some sort of coping mechanism. And I think the people that find religion as their cope is like, it's extremely beneficial for them. Just from my experience, like, I think a lot of the people that maybe I converted that really did like it, it was they, like, seriously, like 9 out of 10 had some traumatic immediate death in their family where they just needed something because they just, you know, they couldn't move on with alcohol. Like they when something bad happens, they didn't turn an alcoholic. They didn't turn to like the plethora of ways to cope that are bad. And like religion was their cope. And I think for them, like, even if I don't believe in Mormonism anymore, I'm really happy that those people, like, they figured out how to like not hate themselves for the rest of their lives. And I think to this day, like, that way religion in our society is gonna help people. Like, that's how, like, it was with my family. Like, my mom and dad lost a kid when they were freshly married, and then they they found the Mormon religion, and it was a way for them to cope, essentially, you know?
Yeah. Well, people need community, purpose, and like belonging.
Yeah,
and religion offers all three of those.
Yeah.
And that's like the main thing. And people can find that in other places than religion, but religion is historically where that comes from.
I had a girlfriend when I was a teenager whose mother converted. Well, I wouldn't say converted because she was not like affiliated with anything, but kind of subscribed to Christianity when she was born, because she was born very prematurely with like a high risk of death. So she just needed that something to latch onto to like give meaning to the situation that she was in at the time. But being from the north, it's interesting because everybody from where I'm around, we're not like a particularly religious area, the northeast rather. But coming down to Florida, basically everybody is. So it's a little bit of a culture shock. Like, everybody I meet down here comes from some sort of Christian background, which is just very foreign to me.
Yeah, I mean that's the South. I mean, I grew up in Connecticut.
That is.
I'm in Tennessee. I mean, there's still churches that got like snakes and shit out. These like Southern Baptist churches.
Oh, the Baptist.
The ones that speak parcel tongue.
Yeah, they get real wild.
Parcel tongue. Oh man,
I get it. But yeah, I think
that's not to say the Northeast isn't religious in any way. It's just like it's not nearly as pervasive at all.
It's statistically like the least religious section of the U.S. I'm pretty sure.
Which is interesting because didn't it all kind of start there?
Yeah, well, it started there because of separation of church and state, things like that.
It's definitely a demographic thing too. I think the more
it started.
Most of your
that's what America really is, honestly. Religious fucking freaks that got outcast.
Real.
Damn, dude.
Most of the more conservative people are living in the South, and I think that aligns more with religion than probably the more liberal demographic of the United States.
I will tell you, liberals in the Northeast, as somebody from Maine, liberals in the Northeast, when you get right down to it, are as conservative as can be. True. They are liberal for show, but when it gets down to it, they are very conservative.
Oh yeah, I mean, the capitalism is gonna push for them, whatever goes, So I believe that.
One point I wanted to make about religion is I think in the past, like, it was really useful for building communities, and now that we're in such a much easier way to keep in contact with people, keep connected, not just in our neighborhoods, but like this call, right? None of us are even within like an hour, 2 hours away from each other, right? We're so far away. And religion was just a way to bring everyone together. Like, I read books and stuff, like everyone would go to like Sunday, everyone would show up to church. It was not like the religious side, like, oh, I'm going to see my neighbors, the entire community out there. And it was more of like a building that type of relationship thing, and now that we're in a world that is way more globalized and way more easier to stay connected, that community aspect sort of fallen off, and now religion is, just has the other sides of it to it.
Fucking globalists.
I knew I was
True. Hey, you come on, watch us on Twitch. That's all the community you need.
True.
And,
I'm the only friend you'll ever need. It's not
you
parasocial.
can
I
worship
really like you.
Tasty
Come to my
Life
chat.
as a god if you need to.
I mean, to bring it home, RuneScape is something that like anybody in anybody's chat, like we have this in common. We grew up playing RuneScape.
But the RuneScape
We
community,
know all these quests. We all know all this lore. We have something very much in common with each other.
Damn.
Yeah.
Twitch kind of like
True.
religion when you think about it.
Twitch really is religion, bro.
RuneScape's a
Yeah, we're
religion.
just-
man.
RuneScape's
RuneScape's
tribe.
religion,
We
dude.
just-
And if you think about it, we're kind of like
We're
prophets.
preachers.
Saints or prophets.
We're preachers.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't pray 5 times a day, but you bet your ass I'm doing 5 birdhouse runs a day.
If we, I just hope that as the RuneScape community, we don't have to go to war with anybody because we're probably gonna get our shit kicked in.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd rather not. That's okay.
I feel like we've got
It's not gonna
some large streamers. I feel like half
I'm
of RuneScape
streamers,
players.
but you gotta look at the followers.
Well, okay.
The people.
That's a good. No, you got a good point. You got a good point.
Okay, but we're
Our army's
also
gonna need some
probably
training.
probably older and have
Yeah.
money. So
Yeah, that's true.
That is
True.
the RuneScape
Technology?
scenario. Yeah.
I mean,
I
we
feel
have
like-
one of the best built AIs in this call right now.
Completely unrelated question. Do you think that the United States could regain its sense of patriotism in a total war scenario?
Yes.
No,
No,
no
No,
shot.
I don't think
too
so.
far gone.
Yeah, it's too far gone. I'd say.
What do you think?
I think it could bring. I think it
would
could
say
come
yes.
back towards it. I don't think it's going to be ever like it was before. It could definitely come back. But the unfortunate
of
thing
war.
about this, it's going to take an event that's terrible. It's going to take a fucking
No,
awful.
it would have to be war on
awful-
our soil. There's no
Yes,
way.
it
If
would
it's-
have to
if
be-
it's
it would
not
have to
Which
be-
would
here,
never happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Never happen.
yeah.
It would have to be bad.
If it's war on our soil,
Well, yeah,
yes, we
all
come
the-
together.
all the like eras of like hyper patriotism have always been right after something fucking terrible happened in the US.
Last time was 9/11. I'd say is probably.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably the.
Everyone was super like America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the last time in American history we were like that close as a nation.
I
Yeah.
heard they started playing Enya on the radio a lot because she had a calming vocal style post 9/11.
I don't know who Enya is.
You don't know.
You
Ava?
know
It's
who
like
Enya
the
is, yeah.
you heard the song.
can say. Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know the one. Come on.
I know that song.
Peter.
You say that really well.
Yeah.
That's a
good.
banger.
Fucking banger, dude. She did not have to go that hard.
Only time. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, you guys. They put on Enya at my preschool, and now sometimes I listen to Enya when I fall asleep.
Oh,
Damn,
I
that's
do.
cute.
Now you know.
that's kind of cute.
Thank
That
you.
was an old stream gimmick. I would play that song whenever like I'd get the drop I didn't want. Play that song that Zoe was.
Dude, great stream
Stream
song.
gimmicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something bad happened. Cue Enya.
Would you say over time, Roidie, how much has your stream changed, like your persona? Did you have any like gimmicks you used to rely on to as far as like things you would do? Have you always just kind of been just stare at the screen, play the game?
You know, anything like rubbing baby oil on yourself or something like that.
Slapping your thigh.
I mean, I'm sure,
Showing your
unbeknownst to
sister's
me,
feet.
I'm sure the answer is yes, but no. Like ultimately, I've only ever tried to be myself. Wait, and maybe myself has changed over the years, but like I've only ever strived to be authentic.
I would hope that you've changed over the years. I would hope we've all changed
Yeah.
over the years.
I think
Yeah.
if you're not, especially if you're in like your late teens, early 20s, if you're not looking back at yourself a year ago and being like, fuck that guy or girl,
Yeah.
then you're doing something wrong.
Very
100%.
true.
Yep.
That's
Very,
great
very
take.
true.
Yeah,
Well,
if you
yeah,
don't
that's what I mean.
cringe
It's
at
more,
your
it's more
former
so
self,
just the change.
For sure.
you're still cringe.
Like you go through the phases of like different talking subjects, etc. And then I don't know, because I go back and like listen to some of the things I used to talk about, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. I was unhinged. Well, I see like my earlier stream clips. I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about? What the hell's going on?
I'm finding it existential, but most people like either I'm not in the mood to be existential, or people are just asking me about the game itself. So there's not the opportunity to be.
you get the daytime chatters. I'm assuming you get a lot of like just really bad RuneScape questions, huh?
Oh yeah, there's like, but I like to. I don't shun like the newbies because they are the lifeblood of what our game is. Like if
Roidie, do I use a dragon scimitar or dragon mace?
I've tried to get better about that because you're right about that. Like you're 100% valid that those are the people that are gonna like be watching our dumbasses in the future. So we probably should treat them better because I've definitely been an asshole to people who've asked them there's a genuine question, but it was a stupid question, and I like made a joke about it.
Yeah, but the thing is, as a streamer, I'm sure you all know it. There's the occasional person who is not a newbie and they're just like talking for the sake of talking, asking questions that seem authentic, but they're just fucking with you the whole time.
Yeah. like baiting. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just chatting for the sake of it. And like sometimes you can identify them, but like you don't want to. If you treat everybody that way, it's going to be wrong because most people are authentic.
Yeah, I love the newbie questions. They're some of my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I get asked about CG to this day. Like, hey, any tips for a new CGer? I'm like, just practice, man. Just practice.
Try tier 2. Tier 2 doesn't work. Try tier 1.
Tier 2 for beginners, always. Yeah. It's gonna make you better at prep. It's gonna make Hunliff easier.
When I first started watching Twitch, that's what I was in your chat. I'd watch you when I was at work, and I honestly probably like was like, "Hey, dude, just caught my Barrows gloves." You know, I don't know.
What KC and Barrows for your
gloves? Yeah,
been going so dry on those recently. What the heck?
You guys want to pull up the thread?
I actually have a question that it's relevant to streaming. Roidie, Iron Socks asked, what put you onto the synthwave genre? And is the stream playlist playing when you're working out? And I'd like to know, is it playing elsewhere? Like, what do you listen to outside of stream too?
So as for the gym playlist, I'm not like a hype, intense gym music kind of guy. I'll listen to whatever I like. And that's enough for me at the gym. I don't need to be riled up into a set, if you will. Mm-hmm. Outside of the stream, I would say I'm a bit more eclectic with my music taste. But as for my interest in synthwave specifically, I would attribute that to probably like a Reddit thread back in 2015. It was like, check out this like space wave genre. And this was like the beginning of synthwave. Although the beginning of synthwave was like 2010 or so. But this was like when the genre was in its formation. And I tuned into this Spotify playlist and I was like, I've never heard anything like this in my life. And whatever this is, I am fucking in love with it. And this was mainly my favorite songs off this were an artist called Perturbator, who is largely considered kind of the king of synthwave, and his album Dangerous Days. I'm bringing it up on Spotify right now. And this was the first album that I just listened to, like first song to last song. And I was like, whatever this is, I am all about it. And so I just started to explore the genre. And then when I got into streaming, I remember even DMing with Foe back in the day when I was talking to him about starting streaming. I was like, I am so into so much music that that's never going to be an issue because streamers always play music, at least unless you're a sick nerd. But everybody plays music. And I was like, I have a bottomless pit of music that I'm interested in. And when I started streaming, everybody would ask me what the songs I was playing were because it was new to them too. And I was always happy to provide that information. And I've definitely introduced a lot of people to the genre, although I will admit that the genre is largely dead. The synthwave genre died like 2 or 3 years ago.
Really?
If they make another RoboCop movie, it might come back.
I mean, that's the thing. Like Cyberpunk 2077, is that the name of it?
Yeah.
They did not take music from established synthwave artists. They commissioned synthwave music from artists who weren't necessarily in that scene, which was a travesty. I hate it.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing a lot of it in like movies and TV shows these days. Like one thing that actually I think like kind of gave a little bit of like breathing life into the synthwave was like Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, for sure. which I've never seen personally, but like I'm
Good
sure I
show.
will someday.
Good show.
Oh, dude, no, the synthwave vibes throughout the Stranger Things episodes, I always love. Like it really adds a nice element to
The
the
remix
and
is
I've been
good,
seeing.
too.
I can't think it off the top of my head, but like I feel like I've been seeing a lot of it in like TV shows and movies lately. Since
Yeah,
then
I
as
see
well.
I see a lot of popular YouTube videos and creations incorporating synthwave. Like Dr. Disrespect always used it.
I was
but-
about to say that's how I found it. That's how I got into it.
and I'll see their videos with synthwave, and I just have a really hard time not feeling like a hipster. Like I've been into this shit for like 10 years.
You're valid for that though.
No, everybody has that feeling. I was definitely like that with dubstep. Like when dubstep became popular, like I was into like the OGs, like Scream and Banga, and then like,
Ooh, those are OGs. God damn.
It became like mainstream, and I was like, ugh, fucking Skrillex, this fucking guy, this fucking bullshit. Like I was the same way.
I'm sure Skrillex is resented by the purists.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's definitely the one that
Skrillex
kicked
is
it
sick,
off.
bro.
The Scary
He is.
Monsters and Nice Sprites is what kicked it off, man.
I remember when
Yeah,
that
he is.
album was
He's
like
still-
gaining heat, dude.
Oh yeah. No, he's still like looked at as like the king. Like he just dropped a new track the other day and like released like the announcement of his album that's coming out actually this weekend. And like I mean, I've seen a lot of all different people under the umbrella of EDM like paying respect to Skrillex. Like he's definitely
He's a
still
big deal, yeah.
He's definitely a big deal.
As far as branding, I mean, you can't get bigger than probably Daft Punk and Skrillex in that order, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Shout to Scream though. If anybody listening, listen to Scream. I still love Scream.
Oh, Scream's fucking
I
sick.
used to listen
man.
to Scream all the time.
Scream's so good. Love
You know what's funny is I learned about who Scream was because I started listening to Skrillex. I was like, oh, this dubstep stuff is pretty cool.
Reverse
And
purist.
then I was like, yeah, like a reverse. And I started like dubstep compilations, and I found like an old CD called "This Is Dubstep Volume 3."
No.
Oh my god.
And no,
I was so
that has-
pessimistic about the future of electronic music back in like 2012. I was like, if this is our music now, what's it going to be in like 5 years? Just like noise.
Just like ambient
Just random
sound.
noise.
A big thing
Yeah.
now is just like remixes of EDM, like remixes of popular, like even Stranger Things. Like I heard a tech house remix of a Stranger Things theme song, and it's actually a banger. Like there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, well, that's also a sick fucking theme. So, like, there's a lot of remixes of. You can find a remix of that theme in like pretty much every genre.
I found an acid techno remix of Slipknot, and it's one of the hardest songs I've ever heard in my life.
See,
It's
I kind of
unbelievably
expected
hard.
this conversation to come up during the podcast. Since I was like 3 years old, I remember listening to the Prodigy CDs back when CDs
my
were
God.
around.
Oh, no
Like
way.
the Mortal Kombat theme, the Blade theme. I've been into EDM since as early as I could appreciate music at all. So when did you guys, are any of you not into EDM at all?
I like
Noble
very
listens to
specific
Millennium,
parts
so
of
he's
EDM.
not.
Why am I catching strays out here, dude?
you listen to
counts as an
Millennium.
EDM artist.
Is that a
alright?
yes?
That's a
Millennium's an EDM artist.
I think everybody here is. We all listen to EDM on our
Yeah.
streams. It's our primary.
I-
business.
House
Like
head.
house and techno are the only two subgenres I really venture into. for the
I'm
most
a
part.
big
I'm a big
fucking
techno fan.
house slut. I love it.
Big-
You are, dude. Hamzy has introduced
Yeah.
me to some of my favorite songs I've ever heard in my life, bro. You got some.
I've always been into it though. Like my first, I was 14 years old on the beach of Beirut going to see David Guetta, and like that was when it just all.
So you've always been in the house because like I'm the same way, very young age, but I was dubstep. Like I was the bass scene, love bass, love breaking my neck on the fucking rail.
Well,
like, I love that shit.
I don't know. Early on, I got really into I mean, it was definitely David Guetta and Tiesto. Like when I was like 14,
Yes.
and I got really into the like progressive house, like Hearts in the Air, you know, like fucking Swedish House Mafia and like Avicii, and
God.
like that kind of like carried me all throughout high school. I guess in college I got really into like that. This was like the first time I ever listened to anything that wasn't like four to the floor. I mean, I guess I had a little bit of like exposure to the dubstep side of things, but that quickly transitioned over to like the future bass, which is like what I was talking about, like Millennium and stuff. Like I got really into that like future bass stuff. That was like my first time ever listening to some kind of electronic music that was a little bit more I guess, experimental, futuristic, just not for the floor, like, house techno. But I kind of found my way back to the club, like house and techno scene pretty close after. And that's just like what's been ingrained in my blood.
This RuneScape brought me back to it for sure. Because like I said, like dubstep was
100%.
always the move. And I started streaming and I was like, I can't just play dubstep while I'm playing RuneScape for 4 hours. So I had to like conform and find something else. And finally, like I stumbled upon like Better House and then eventually like the variations of Tech House. And now I've finally found my groove of what's like good for the stream playlist. Because there's definitely a difference. Like there's definitely some stuff I listen to off stream that I listen to on stream. But for the most part, off stream is definitely... it's different for me at least.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys are the same way. Where like sometimes something will come on your Spotify that you listen to personally. That's like, I'm not gonna play this on stream.
100%.
All the time.
Yup.
Unless
you
it's
can't know
like
this side of me.
Yeah,
unless it's like one of those.
I'm weird.
Unless it's like one of those streams. You ever have those streams?
Ignoble has those
I've had a
streams,
few
bro.
of those. I've had a few of those.
We'll appreciate those.
Look, bro, I
had one stream.
5 a.m. crying music, fighting Kriara, bro. That was a stream, bro.
I was mentally not in a good place. Second of all, I was killing Kriara on my Iron Man, and I'm looking for some specific fucking drops that I don't even remember. And I was just playing like acoustic versions of like
I can't remember
metal songs and stuff like that. It just like made me want to, it was not a good day.
I wanted to cry for you watching that, bro. That was tough.
Dude, it's nice to feel that. Like I got home from the club a couple weeks ago and I was fucking hammered, man. Like I don't even remember going live. I think I went live at like 5:30 a.m.
I remember this stream.
And just did not remember a damn thing. And then the next night I went live again and someone said something along the lines of my chat. They were like, whoa, like what was that playlist last night? Like, I didn't know you were into the Kooks. And I was like, dude, I played the Kooks on stream. I was like, ain't no way. I knew exactly what playlist I played as soon as they said that. I was like, oh man, I must have been fucking gone, dude.
Bro, that's how I felt when like Death Cab came on a playlist. So I'm like, oh fuck.
Death Cab goes hard, bro. Death Cab is tight.
I remember
I'm
that
a huge
stream,
Death Cab fan. Like that Death
So,
Cab. Like,
no, hang on. They had a song on. I was just saying the other day, my favorite TV series soundtrack of all time was from Scrubs. And I think they had a song featured on Scrubs.
Was it?
Sounds
Was that
about
what it
right.
said?
I'm sure they
I'll look
did.
it up.
I'm sure they did.
Death Cab goes hard though. That's
I love Death Cab. One of my favorite, but it's from my formative years, dude. So like, it has to be there.
You know what I listen a lot of off stream is John Bellion. Do you guys listen to John Bellion?
Yeah.
I don't know
I
who
did not
that is.
expect that from
Who
you.
is that?
Yeah, what the
What is
fuck?
it?
Dude, Hams, you kind of look like John Bellion. Has anyone ever told you that?
Yeah. No. I've
That's
gotten a
like
lot of
Pantone
things.
shit or
But
what?
I'll take that over some
You know that
He-
song that's like
other
low.
Oh yeah, he's got
doppelgangers I've gotten.
That's him.
What?
Yeah, he has all time low. He has a song with Millennium. I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
I've actually
It's called Good Things Fall Apart.
That's how I know him.
Goes
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I actually
Goes so
the
hard.
last 2 times he's gone on tour, I've gone out at like 6 o'clock in the morning in the lines and like was on the rail both times.
Yeah, I've
touched his hands both times. Yeah, no, I'm a big. I like my John Bellion. I haven't really listened
I've
to it in a
never
while.
been to a
But
proper concert.
Ever?
Would you?
Ever?
Well, okay.
No, see, the probably the most notable people I've seen in real life is I'm from a part of Maine. Well, you know L.O. Bean, the company.
Yeah.
LL
outdoor
Bean,
wear
like the
company.
outdoor, yeah.
Yeah, I got their
Yeah,
boots.
So they, in a part of Maine, used to put on free weekend summer concerts, and I would say the most notable people I've seen there are the Dixie Chicks, which I fucking hated.
Whoa.
Damn.
So what the
Nothing's
Dixie
valid.
Chicks would do, like I was just aching for this concert to end, and every song they would exchange instruments. So I'm like, oh, they're taking their instruments off. It's done. But no, they would just play each other's instruments. And then the other one would be Don McLean. So I've seen American
way.
Pie or Bye Bye Miss American Pie in real life. It was fantastic.
Oh my god,
Nice.
that's a
But I've never
flex.
been to
That's
like a
classic.
concert venue before, ever.
Okay, so yeah, I was literally getting ready to ask it, but I guess you just answered because I know you said you've been listening to EDM music for however long. So you've never been to any kind of DJ set Would you like to? Like, have you ever thought about it? Has there been ever like one concert that you wish you could go to? Like, who could you see if you could see right now?
A rave or something would be my personal hell, to be honest with you.
It's not. I mean, don't knock it till you try it, man.
If I'm in a group, I am a very paternal guy. So if I'm in a group, I feel woefully responsible for everybody in that group and their safety. And it ruins any outing for me.
No. As the resident mommy here, that is the best part. It's the best part because I'm also somewhat introverted. But anytime I go out or anytime I'm at a party, I have a mission. And the mission is make sure everybody's safe and happy. And having that mission means you get to avoid so much of the social interaction because you always have something to do. You check in on this person, check in here. Anyone need gum? Anyone need anything? Everyone good? It makes it so much more enjoyable because you always have a task. Trust me.
No, I don't have the happy part. I'm more like, if anybody's fucking with my people, I'm gonna fuck them up. I'm just on.
Well, then you get to do that. That's even more fun.
To fight.
Then you get to
I
fight
like
people.
It. Okay, I'm hanging out with Roidie.
Wait, Roidie, have you like been in any bar fights or something? I'm starting to feel like you have.
Almost, but no. Like, usually, I'm pretty good at diffusing that sort of thing, or people won't even try with me.
That's fair.
Have you ever been punched in the face?
I have not.
Like by a stranger?
No.
Have you?
Being
Yeah,
punched in the
Hamzy, what
face
the
is
fuck?
a-
Have you?
Getting
Yeah,
punched in
Hamzy.
the
Why'd you
face,
say it like that, bro?
Dude, honestly, like for real, being punched in the face square on, like, actually is a life-changing experience.
Dude, I've gotten my fucking ass kicked, man.
It probably was good for you.
No, it wasn't, man. It was pretty traumatic. Like, no, I've been like held by one guy while getting punched in the face by the other. Like,
what did you
that's
do?
just unfair.
Jesus,
That's unfair.
Yeah, what did you do?
no, it wasn't like.
He fucks him with wife.
Okay, it
Was
could
it
have been
deserved
avoided
or
on my.
Okay.
No. Okay, well that's not
Not
yet,
that
but-
time.
Okay, was
That was a
that
different
involved?
time.
What happened?
No.
Okay.
There was one specific time where I was walking home. It was me and my friend had also like fucked up his ankle earlier that night, so he wasn't able to chase after me when. Oh, we'll get to that part, but we were walking home, and there's this group of guys, and like they asked us where they could get food in the area, and I told them that they're shit out of luck. And I guess the way I said it might have been like, I was literally just telling them like, there's no good places to get food around here. Like, sit the fuck down, I guess. I don't know what I said, but I said it in a way where this guy just fucking rocked me. And I was like, by the time I even comprehended what had happened, like my friend pulled me away and we went like a full block. Like we walked pretty far away from these guys. And like, he's like, yo, sit down. Like you're bleeding. Like my nose is busted open. I was sitting there and I was like, dude, why would he do that? And I was literally just sitting there in sadness. I was like, I didn't do anything. I just told this guy. I was like, why would he do that? And then I just kept repeating. I was like, why would he do that, man? And I just like got up and just like got angry, and I went back after these guys.
Oh no.
No.
And like I said, my friend had his ankle busted up, so he wasn't able to help me. So at this point, like I now became the aggressor, I guess. So like the original guy, there was like two guys, and like originally one of them didn't want to fight, but now that I became the aggressor, now he is seeing me as like a, so now he's holding me, and the other guy was just like, I think I took like 4 shots straight to the nose. I was like, I'm about to die. So I just got into.
You got punched.
Oh.
You didn't just get
like,
punched. You gotta act.
I mean, I got him once good, but like, dude,
Okay.
I went into fetal position. Like I was like, I'm gonna die unless I do this. So
that's different than just getting punched in the face one time. You got the full.
Jesus.
That's the full ass whooping. Yeah.
You got the game initiation.
it was like 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
But it happens. Yeah.
I don't really see red in those situations, which just gives you like a unbelievable advantage. If you could be level headed when the other guy's just like fucking peeved, then you're gonna win. Guaranteed.
Yeah, 100%.
Why are we talking about fights? What did I miss?
Are we talking about?
Don't ask me. I'm
Yeah,
drunk.
Roy
Cam
said
just
when he
wanted to talk
gets
about
out,
his
he's
ass
like paternal, and he likes to like protect his friends. And then we started talking about.
No, so when I was like a huge guy, nobody would ever consider anything like that. But the last time I had something like that was like I was in a wine bar, and some guy hops through the window and like shoves me in my back. Like I had looked through the window and made eye contact with this guy and like given like a heads up. And I guess he took that as like a sign of aggression. And he hops through the window and like pushes my back. And this is like 120-pound, 5'6" character. And I stand up next to him. And he's like still kind of aggressed, and I'm just completely calm. Like, there's nothing you could do to me. Like, I'm gonna kill you if you attack me. And some old lady restrains him because this old lady, her daughter was singing that night in the wine bar, and she was like, "You're not ruining this for her. You are not ruining this for her."
Not because he cared about you.
Did she have to see your thighs too?
And then the police showed up, and he ran away, and they tased him.
Oh, nice.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, that's sick.
I'd say that's
the
good. I'm
extent
gonna say
of the
that,
story.
he's not wrong. Like size, like pretty much. If you're a bigger human, people are, unless you are the aggressor, like you don't have to really worry about anybody. And honestly,
absolutely.
with most fights, you can talk your way out of it. I'd say 90% of the time, you can probably talk your way out of a fight.
Yeah, I mean, you just say like, do you want to enjoy your night or do you want to go to jail? Like, it's a pretty easy pick. Just
that's a really good way to put it. Most people are like, well, never mind. Anybody else have a question up there?
Yeah, I'm bouncing around trying to find one.
Let me look.
I feel like we've done a really good job actually at answering a lot of the questions without, actually even looking at the questions.
Yeah. For you.
I have one. This is from someone named Tasty Life. Never heard of him. The question is,
From
hello,
YouTube?
Roidie. Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Probably the one from YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He says, what is the hardest part about being a full-time streamer? And what is your favorite part about being a full-time streamer?
So we probably touched on both of these. I would say my favorite part is being able to voice my random thoughts to people who are just like subject to those thoughts, but as a function of being in my stream.
They really are subject.
It's like outside of my stream, I don't talk to a lot of people. So like all of the random crap that happens in my head is going to be put onto my stream. As far as what's bad, I would say I am a person who likes to be able to check out completely and disappear. But as a streamer, that does not fly because you won't be a streamer for long if you just disappear. You'll become irrelevant very fast.
That's a good point.
Like I like to be able to just like completely disappear from a career, but it just does not work as a streamer.
That's fair. I had a question from Mr. Sater himself.
Ooh.
He's pretty much asking, he wants to know like your current diet and how you've been maintaining the low body fat, which I don't know if those relate, but pretty much just what's the diet look like? And his other question was, do you ever plan to venture into making YouTube content? Which I don't think we asked you about that.
Well, to the second part first for YouTube, like, I mean, it's something I've considered, but like, there's nothing I would want to make in terms of YouTube videos to incentivize me to go down that route and the amount of effort that it takes to make YouTube videos. Nor would I want to have an editor who's like obliged to do that sort of thing and like me paying them and whatnot. Maybe someday. It's not a no, but like, it's not something I'd planned on. And to get to the first part of his question, I don't think he'd really like my answer in that, like, I don't.
This is not about what he likes, okay?
I'm not doing
very open-minded.
Fuck Sater. Fuck Sater.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, somebody.
Whoa.
Okay, I love you, Sater, bro.
I would not say there's anything like I probably right now am about the leanest I've ever been. And like in a sustained sense, when I was at my biggest, it would be a constant fluctuation between like being a little fatter than I would like to be and like striving to be lean and then immediately recoiling out of that leanness. But right now I am sustainably lean to as much of an extent as I've ever been. And it's for not having really tried to do so at all, I would say, which is kind of a lackluster answer. But in my fitness journey now, which is not really a journey, but like the way that I approach my health now is I strive to be sustainable in the things that I do to maintain my body fat and my muscularity. Like, I don't want to be big anymore. I don't want to be super shredded, but I don't want to be fat either. So I just like to do things that I want to do. Like, I eat the way that I eat because it's the way that I want to eat, and I don't block myself from having anything. Like I used to kind of have something of an eating disorder when I was like a big guy. I could eat infinity food. I used to do food challenges because I could. Like if I would go to a restaurant and they had like a 5, 6, 7 pound food challenge, I would do it just for a free t-shirt because my stomach capacity was just unlimited. But nowadays I cannot do that. But I don't think too much into it, to put it that way. Like I eat the way that I eat because it's the food that I want to eat, and I don't eat to excess. If I want to go for a walk, it's not because I want to burn calories. It's because I want to go for a walk. I want to get some fresh air. I want to see the sun. If I work out, it's not to be big. It's just because it's what I want to do and makes me feel better about myself. And I've just reached a point, because I've been lifting for over 10 years now. And I reached a point where I was just comfortable enough with myself and who I am physically to not care so much about that, to where I can see these things for what they are and not have them define me, basically.
What is a... Sorry, you go ahead. I have a long question. You go first.
I was just going to say, do you think any of that ever stemmed from insecurity? I know a lot of like my eating disorder stuff stem from
just about anybody who gets into bodybuilding, whether they'll tell you about it or not, are very insecure people. I speak for all bodybuilders in saying that it is an insecure crop of people.
Yeah, and you'll never be happy with what you look like, no matter what you look like.
Yeah, the guys.
Yeah, but that has become much less the case nowadays for me.
Likewise,
the guys at the peak of the bodybuilding world, most of them, they're never satisfied. They always have some type of body dysmorphia, and they'll go down to like the smallest little thing, and they'll pretty much do anything to achieve it. I mean, the guys now are freaks. They're monsters. They're
kind of disgusting.
At my biggest, so like we've talked about the extent of my size in the past, it being nearly 230 pounds at like almost single digit body fat. I never perceived myself in that way. Like I thought I was fat. I thought I was not muscular. Yeah. And it came down to my friends to tell me, like, dude, you're a fucking anomaly of a person. And I still didn't believe them.
Yeah.
Do you look at pictures of yourself now from like back then? You're like, holy fuck, I was huge.
Yeah. I'll see old pictures of myself and feel like there's no way I used to look like that. There's no way.
I was gonna ask, since you said you're big on like sustainable habits, which massive thumbs up, big fan of that. What's a normal day of eating for you? Do you have like meals you like to make or like any structure?
So the last few days I've eaten about an apple pie per day because I made 5 6-inch apple pies. One of them I gifted for Valentine's Day. Ooh. And I ate 4 of them myself.
One for you and 5 for me.
That is so sick.
Damn.
Because I like, as a Valentine's gift, I wanted to give flowers because she likes flowers, her favorite wine, and also an apple pie as a gesture of like something I made myself. But
that's really sweet.
Wow. Okay.
What did I have today? Today I had some Stouffer's cheddar whales, the best cheese snack cracker in the world.
Those go hard. The whales are, those are good.
Oh yeah, man. If anybody knows whales, we're instantly a friend because not a lot of people know about them.
Well, the whales.
And I had, what else did I have? I had bacon and eggs, and that's it.
Crusader is
I'm not a big eater these days. the biggest and leanest I ever was, I ate about 3,500 calories a day. Nowadays, it's got to be less than 2,000 average.
Really? So you don't eat that much? That's not very much.
No, I'm not a big eater these days.
I love you.
He's on the retired cycle, man. He's taking it easy.
I'm in the same boat. I'm retired too. Feels nice.
I've gotten there. Like I don't think they're like. Probably Max can speak to it too. I don't think there's like that time I think in everybody's like gym, like younger gym life, we're at that peak where you just work like the 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, just literally killing yourself, eating ton, like just trying to like.
I love that. That was
I mean, yeah, I loved it too, but I don't think I'll ever get back. There's no way I'm going back.
No. I did that because I was in college and my parents paid for everything, and I didn't do any of my schoolwork. So all I had was time to go to the gym. That's all I did.
And same for me. The biggest I ever was probably doing like maybe 4 to 5 credit hours. I just had like I could work out 2-3 hours a day. I could do all the meal prep I ever wanted to do. I could sleep 10 plus hours a day. It's like I cannot do that anymore. I'm not ever going to be that way again.
It's a fun period to have, though, to just fully dedicate yourself to something like that and see results. It was cool. Yeah.
Made easier still by the fact that you're in like a college gym, just like teeming with girls in their early 20s, and you're like, I gotta be big for these chicks, and you don't realize they don't give a shit about that.
Oh no, they never even look at me.
Dudes.
You know how many extra reps I squeezed out?
It's only dudes that care, like especially at a certain point. Like only guys are gonna notice those like gains you're getting.
Yeah, if you have like one. If you have that one bicep vein, you're ripped. As far as like 90% of girls are concerned,
there was a
you don't have to be 200 pounds.
I started having more motivation to lift heavier when there were other big dudes in the gym rather than women being nearby. I was like, I want to let this dude see me squat 405. Like I gotta wait till he's in the rack next to me. Like I need to see squat 405.
My best squat set ever, because I told you I was leg dominant. My best squat set was 4 plates for 10 to depth.
That's insane.
Which, if you extrapolate that to a run rep max, is like 510, 520 or so.
That's nasty. Yeah, you had 5 plates in the tank. That's a nasty set. 10 sets of squats of any weight is miserable.
I love Tom Platt sets. If you know lifting, you know Tom Platt's. I love Tom Platt's ideology.
You've seen the video of the guy with the American flag pants being trained by Tom Platt's?
I saw that recently.
David Hoffman. Yeah.
That's German, actually.
One of my all-time favorite workout videos.
I love David
Hoffman.
I'll
watch that for motivation. It's so good.
Speaking of food, I have a Twitter question. Schmacko wants to know, would you rather go without pizza for a year or relive every grind on Doorframe 654?
I would go for the pizza, honestly, because I haven't even had a lot of pizza recently. Like, it wouldn't be that much of a stretch for me to go longer without it.
There's
Doorframe 654. I've had maybe one account in my RuneScape career that it was not woefully dry on every pursuit it ever had. It's the only reality that I know. I would choose the no pizza. Although I am a pizza fan. It's probably my favorite food.
Great food.
What's your favorite topping?
Pineapple.
I love it.
I knew something was wrong with him.
Pain.
But if not pineapple arbitrarily, it has to have a salty company like bacon, pepperoni, etc.
Prosciutto?
Ooh.
Sure.
Ham.
Excellent combo.
I feel like the ham. Interesting.
Damn. I have a question from the Twitter thread. From Mr. Send It Scotty. He's been seeing him a lot. Cool guy. But he's got 2 questions. First one, what are some of your favorite fitness myths to debunk? And question 2, what's your go-to meal to cook for someone?
Go-to meal to cook for somebody, probably a nice homemade pasta. Not the noodles, because that's difficult, but like I'll do the red sauce myself, or steak,
from scratch?
Steak and potatoes. Yeah, from scratch.
Do you like roasted tomatoes, or do you just send them raw?
Well, sometimes I'll use tomatoes that I'll buy myself from the produce section and like chop those down, but usually I'll buy canned tomatoes, so not like entirely homemade.
Canned is the way.
How we cooking
those
the
canned
steak?
ones are good.
I was just curious.
Yeah, the other question was, humor me. What was the other question?
What are some of your favorite fitness myths to debunk?
Probably the long-standing idea that one cannot burn fat and build muscle at the same time.
Oh, I like you a lot. You're cutting edge. This is my
David Goggins.
Right. Tell us more. I want to know about this.
It is a very pervasive myth from like probably bodybuilding.com that those two are mutually exclusive things that one can do. When in reality, if that were the case, that one could not build muscle and fat at the same time, the human organism would cease to exist long ago. Like, if you really think about it, it's just nonsense that could be true. But the idea of building muscle and burning fat comes down to one thing. Building muscle is the delta value, if you know mathematics, the difference between the amount of muscle protein synthesis that takes place per day and the amount of muscle protein breakdown. So the amount of protein that is synthesized into your body by amino acids into your muscle tissue versus the amount that is broken down and taken from your muscle. If that is a net positive value, you will have gained muscle in that 24-hour time span. If that is a negative value, you will have lost muscle. And every day, your body will do both of those activities. You will have muscle protein synthesis, and you will have muscle protein breakdown. It just comes down to the difference between those two values. Same goes for fat. The amount of fat you gain per day and the amount of fat you lose per day, as in like as is liberated and uses energy. If you lose more fat per day than you gain, you will have lost fat, obviously. If you gain more fat than you have liberated from your existing fat stores, you will have gained fat. Those two processes in muscles and fat, the delta values between those two things I just explained, those are not mutually exclusive processes. You can gain muscle in a day, and you can lose fat. And the belief that that is not true is founded in forum posts that are written by people who don't know what they're talking about.
It goes deeper than that too, because that idea of what he's talking about has spanned so many terrible bro science like ideas. Just that people are reading and they're taking as actual value of fitness.
I'm a big supporter in bro science because, like, if you take the scientific process, what is the scientific process? It is an observation, a hypothesis, and the rest. It's been a long time since I was in school. But bro science is basically founded in the observation.
Yeah.
And you need that observation to conduct a scientific study. And oftentimes, if well conducted, which is difficult to do in the human organism, that study will find that the bro science observation has been and is always true. So that bro science observation is absolutely essential. But it's just that conducting those studies that adhere to the bro science is very difficult. As somebody who comes from like a degree background in kinesiology, if you are somebody who believes in studies in exercise science and diet, don't. I'm telling you that right now. Do not believe in any study you see that pertains to the human organism because they are bullshit. It is impossible to conduct a proper scientific study in an organism as complex as the human being. The best you can do is a lot of these kind of shitty scientific studies compiled into big meta-analyses. And those meta-analyses conclusions, those you could perhaps put some weight into.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of bro science and hard science combined. You know, I think there's a healthy middle ground.
They have to exist together because if not for the bro science, the hard science can't exist. Yeah. You have nothing to study if there are no observations.
Like burning fat and not being able to gain muscle at the same time, yeah, that has spanned some very bad bro science. But it's like you said, everything put together, you definitely get a better picture.
And I will discount everything I say in saying that I have had an entire bottle of wine. So if anything I say is complete nonsense, that is why.
Are you plastered right now? How are you feeling?
I'm doing the best I can.
I would be sent.
I mean, everything you said made pretty good sense.
You sound exactly the same.
If you never told me, I'd have no idea.
Yeah, truly.
I'd be slurring my words like a whole bottle of wine.
Do you ever drink on stream?
I mean, occasionally if I'm sampling a bottle of wine, but like the more I'm trying to gather my thoughts I will become increasingly verbose to try and like play for time. Like
Nobody's
to
mad
try
about
to
listening
gather
to
my
your voice.
thoughts.
So
That's true.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Whenever I say anything, even if I'm perfectly coherent, I will begin most responses to chat questions without any idea of what I'm going to say. I'll just kind of start and hope that I end up where I want.
same. You usually get
winging
there
it.
in the end.
Yeah, no, you usually get there.
On a similar vein, I just saw a question. I can't find who asked it, but somebody asked, oh, it was Swift Little Eagle. What's your least favorite question?
From the chat, you mean? Least
Yeah.
favorite question?
Ever.
Anything, yeah.
I would say from the chat, I would assume.
Yeah. I guess nowadays it would pertain to my alive but X hardcore that I do not play because I play a main instead. Because like I've been streaming for almost 5 years now, and all of that, save for the last 7 or 8 months, has been hardcore. So there's still that expectation of me to be putting out that same content. And it's come as something of a shock for a lot of people who have viewed me over that time that I'm not doing that content. And so there's just this expectation that that is the norm and that it will return at some point. And what I'm doing right now is the exception, when in reality, what I'm doing right now is the rule. And what I was doing before and what I may be doing in the future is not necessarily set in stone.
Like that.
I think that's probably good for your sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think if you're playing...
it's come largely due to Bodhi, although my dipping into main content had nothing to do with Bodhi, but he has definitely popularized the parting from the hardcore remake lifestyle, I would say.
Thank God, honestly.
Yeah,
Which, as someone who has done that more than almost anybody aside from Mutz, has become very tired of over time.
Would
I
you?
was gonna ask you.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead. People.
Okay, would you think that at one point you were like addicted to hardcore? Because sometimes I feel like I'm addicted to it.
Yes, and part of my getting away from hardcore was due to the group Hardcore Iron Man, which the group Hardcore Iron Man was the priority. So I abandoned my hardcore in favor of the group, which lasted for, I guess, what was it, October the group Hardcore Iron Man came out? October of 2021, maybe? And then we died in like July, and we probably started, no, I guess we died in like June and then stopped in July. And so that was enough time for me away from the hardcore to not really care about it anymore. And I had already professed to my chat that prior to group hardcore, I was like, all right, I'm going to stop playing this account entirely. We're going to play group hardcore. And then after that, I'm going to play a main. Because it's been so long since I've experienced the end game in this game that I play every single day. That I just want to play my main, and I'm going to experience the end game and maybe collection log a bit, maybe do combat achievements. And that's what I started doing when Group Hardcore Iron Man ended, and that's what I've been doing since then because I fucking enjoy it. Like, for me, main, it is every bit as satisfying to me right now as hardcore ever was. Like, if I get a collection log pop-up on my main, that to me is every bit as satisfying as getting that item for the first time on a hardcore. And there are some people that have just for so long been indoctrinated to the Iron Man lifestyle that they cannot conceive of the fact that playing a main can be enjoyable. And I wish that more people would dabble into that lifestyle as well.
Fair. I was gonna ask if you were playing a hardcore today, do you think you've ingrained enough to where people will be asking you, hey, are you gonna get on the main again? Or do you don't think anybody would say anything? Oh,
it's always the opposite of what you want people to ask. Like, whatever you do, it's just going to be like, when are you going to do the other thing? Like, I've played probably, 3 streams exactly. I have streamed Skyrim in the last few weeks. Okay. Just to because I never streamed Skyrim. And I still get questions like, when's the next Skyrim stream? Like, I've played Skyrim 3 fucking times in 5 years. I just get this medley of questions. When are you going to play Skyrim again? It's always what you don't want people to ask.
How many times a stream, Tasty, do you get asked if you're gonna make an Iron Man? Do you still get asked?
Oh no, I get asked every day, and I'll usually time it to see how long it takes for someone to ask me when I'm gonna make an Iron Man. And usually it's about an hour. That's like the average time. If I get past an hour, I'm like, we did pretty well today.
Every main account stream I've ever watched, you get asked the most by far. I've watched it give it to my collection lodges. You get asked so much.
I get asked a lot, yeah.
All the time.
People always want to make an Iron Man.
You did make an Iron Man, though. I mean, group hardcore rivaled the farmers.
They really did. I have like 6 Iron Men. Not a lot of people know that. Well, my hardcore, I have a hardcore with like 2 quests away from Barrow's Gloves that has 2 Tob Casey. And I'm never going to play it again because I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so unfun to me. I don't, I'm just going to leave it there. You know?
And don't get me wrong. As somebody who plays a main now, I love the concept of the Iron Man game mode.
Yeah, I do too.
I have experienced it more than almost anybody on this planet.
Yeah.
I played exclusively Iron Man as a streamer for like 8 to 12 hours a day for 5 fucking years. I've been there. I've done that. And I want to do something that I haven't done before, and that's playing a main in the end game. Because every hardcore I have will die just shy of the end game to my internet, and I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I want to play. I want to have every pet I get be a permanent pet on my character. Every collection log, a permanent slot on that log to a character that I'm not going to abandon because of my internet.
What do you do with your dead hardcores?
All of my dead hardcores now that I play a main have been liquidated. Prior to that, nothing.
Nah, okay. Because it'd be cool, like, you know, turn one into a main.
What's the bank worth on the main?
My bank worth on my main is about 8.2 billion.
Ooh.
Most of that from dead hardcores.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
What's your bank pin? Just asking for.
6969.
Great
Nice.
answer.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's actually real. I believe you.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a fan.
I bet it actually is.
All right, I gotta change my bank pin real quick. Fuck y'all.
7373.
No way.
God damn it, he's gone. Why is he so good?
Yeah. Do you guys have any more questions from the Twitter?
I have one. It's kind of for everybody. It's from Mr. Chris Weeman. Essentially, he's asking, obviously, we're all in our like mid-20s, late 20s, getting close to 30. Pretty much asking, do you think we'll continue to play the game through our 30s and into our 40s?
Yes, absolutely. No question in my mind.
I think so too.
I agree.
RuneScape will always be propped up by this same generation of people who just will never let it go.
Any different takes?
I'm gonna be a contrarian. I would say no, because like to me, I love the game mode. I enjoy. I play Iron Man. I enjoy the game mode. I enjoy doing collection log stuff. Love doing end game content.
Castle Wars,
but to me,
freak. I saw that.
I finished the Castle Wars log.
Yeah.
It's sick.
That's impressive.
But did you get them all with individual tickets, or did you sell back?
I sold them back. I don't got back. God damn it.
Roidie just called you a faker.
Come
All right, just because you said that, I'm gonna get all the pieces. I'm gonna put it up on Twitter and at you.
He's talking shit.
Fuck you, Roidie.
Yeah, no, he's not.
In 3 years, I'll see you. But
I'm gonna do the same thing, honestly.
To me, the thing that keeps me coming back to RuneScape as a community, and if the people here stay and keep playing for the next 5-10 years, I think I'll be around. But like, I don't think I've seen a game or anything where people have stuck around for like a video game like that, who's stuck around for 15-20 years as they progress throughout different parts of their life. You know, like.
What do you mean?
We've
We've all played this game for like 20 years.
There's other games.
It's pretty rare, but it's usually MMOs like RuneScape or like WoW or something like that.
I don't think we're like old enough to see that happen because all the MMOs started like 20-ish years ago. So we don't know the lifespan of them technically.
I guess it's true.
Still young, yeah.
I mean, WoW, but when it was WoW released, 2004, 2006.
I thought that was.
I forget.
2000.
Because I remember
2004.
I heard some video that said when WoW did come out, it basically just threw a wrench in the tires of every other MMO. It just took over so hard that every other MMO was like, fuck, like what are we gonna do? Like WoW is everything.
Yeah, I mean, WoW is still massive. I mean, it's #1 MMO.
People sleep on OSRS, but the
We're also
MMO
very
genre
hard.
itself is dead. But
You
as
think
far
so?
as the MMO genre as it exists today, OSRS is like perpetually number 2, number 3. It's a big game.
Yeah, no, we are a bigger game than most people think. WoW's #1. What's #2?
Probably Final Fantasy.
I think Guild Wars
Probably.
2 is really big.
I was a big Guild Wars 1 fan.
Guild Wars 2 is huge on Twitch. I don't know if the actual number.
I don't know, but like, I feel like RuneScape specifically is kind of pervasive in culture as far as, you know, popular MMOs go. Like,
Everybody's playing. You'll
Like a
see
random
professional
fan.
athletes nowadays that like, played RuneScape because everybody played it when they was a kid, whether they admit it or not.
Yeah, you'll
They
see a
do.
random Reddit thread with a RuneScape reference, and you're like, that's us. Like, you
Yeah,
know.
I think you guys named most of them. Yeah, Guild Wars 2 is still very big. Apparently, Elder Scrolls Online is still pretty big.
No,
that
it's
game.
not. That shit's dead.
They're lying. That game is so bad.
That's what it says. So,
I believe you.
Eve Online.
I did play WoW Classic for like 3 weeks when it came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Just being
Nostalgic.
introduced to an MMO that you're not familiar with and just being fully engulfed in it for
you
like
didn't play
2
it
3
before?
weeks.
Wow.
It's just
You didn't play WoW back then?
I didn't.
Wow.
I downloaded the WoW free trial when the South
really
Park
good then.
episode came out, but that's it.
It was expensive. It was like
best.
$60.
Yeah, it was expensive.
$15 a month. Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
write a contract with my mother for a $5 a month RuneScape membership. I had to write a contract that I would do chores that I didn't do, but
Yeah,
That is
my
phenomenal.
folks were stingy.
The hoops to jump through to
Likewise.
get the first memberships, I swear, like it was, I had the same deal. I was like begging my mom. I essentially like put together a PowerPoint presentation on why I need to get into Taverly, you know?
Yeah,
like,
we all did the presentation.
Dude, you guys got lucky. You guys
you
got,
don't have
your parents said yes.
$5? Come on.
Were you never a member?
I
Noble?
tried giving that presentation. My parents were just like, "No, fuck you. Like you're
Yeah.
not doing it." So what ended up happening? I got rejected. I ended up I got $20 for my birthday for something like, you know, this is like just a crisp $20 bill. I put it in a fucking envelope. I put like Jagex, whatever Jagex's address was, and I just shoved it in the mailbox. Somehow, God knows how, like 5 or 6 days later, I have like 60 or something days of membership or 90 days
Wow.
of
yeah,
membership.
you used
Like,
to be able to pay by cash and mail. That's so
What?
cool.
and it was just literally an empty envelope, $20 with like Jagex's address and like a shitty crayon. Just, like,
You know, it was game changing in my life is
Wow.
when I walked into a grocery store and they had the cards on the gift cards.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my mom, like now I just throw that down. My mom was like, okay, whatever. She like didn't have to have the monthly charge that she was all pissed about always. And now that was the game changer for me. I got to play RuneScape all the
could
time.
bill your phone company too. I've heard of people that would use their school secretary's phone to call Jagex and buy membership from their school. They would
That
just
is
build a school
so
and just
smart.
get indefinite membership.
that would be sick.
It's phenomenal.
Cool Jagex.
Damn. It's funny.
Wish I thought of that. Damn.
I'm impressed.
Any other questions? Anything good?
I've just got a new notification from 3 minutes ago that asks why void bottoms. That is in reference to TOB.
Oh God.
Void bottoms are great.
Void
Anybody
bombs
who
go
would
pretty
do-
hard.
Void and TOB basically for the unacquainted. Void basically encompasses the entire game tile that you're inhabiting in the bloat room specifically, so you can't see the falling shadows. So you would take off your void bottoms so that it was just your legs and you could see the shadows. And every single time you did that, it would just be, why are you taking off those void bottoms? Why are they in your inventory? Why aren't you wearing them?
That's interesting. I didn't
Time
realize
for
they
like
were that wide.
500 runs in a row.
No, I learned that watching Roidie back in the day, bro.
I feel like that's where I first heard that. Probably that.
Interesting. I wanted to ask this one here. Is this something maybe like an inside joke or something? I don't know. I'm gonna ask it. How did 92 Explorer by Post Malone change your life for the better? Does that ring a bell for anything?
That is not an inside joke. That's just some random nonsense.
It's just a rap.
I'm not a rap fan
I
myself.
didn't know if it had any deeper meaning. I was curious.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's just chatting.
They really just be chatting sometimes.
His name is RuneScape Fiend 33. So that's that's a chatting name for sure.
It's a good name.
We can do the workshop if anybody else has anything else.
I've got some decent ones. You're not much of a tweeter, are you, Roidie?
No, I'm more of a quality over quantity type of guy. Like if I put out a tweet, it's either relevant to the people who care about my stream, like on the day, like, hey, I'm not going to be live, or it's a certified banger and just nothing else.
Surely you have a certified banger.
A couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
I think I had one of the best RuneScape tweets of all time. Got very little traction.
The skilling one,
remember what
I
it
thought
was.
that was very good. You're talking about the skilling clan one? Is that what you're talking
Oh
about?
yeah. That was the one. That was the one.
That was a banger. I liked that. That was a banger.
Oh my god, yeah, that's a good
That's
one.
a really good tweet. It's actually.
For anyone just listening to the podcast, it's a man standing with 4 K-pop girls. Yeah.
A
K-pop?
man, Roger Federer, the fucking
I
goat.
don't. All right.
Oh
Roger guy.
yeah.
Fuck Zoe.
I don't know who that is. I'll be completely honest, but I'll click on it now. And the caption
What?
is me after joining a skilling Discord. I'm clicking.
I saw that. That should be.
Roger
That's a
Federer.
banger.
Oh, he plays tennis.
That's a good
Do I look
dude.
like
Like
someone who
the
cares about
most
sports? Come on.
Famous tennis player of all time.
Whether you care about tennis or not, Roger Federer, jeez.
I did actually work the U.S. Open for 2 years, so I probably should know.
Probably should. So do you have any Twitter drafts in your
we got
hidden away?
so each podcast we do something called the Twitter workshop where we look at our drafts, our potential tweets, and then everyone just bullies
Potential
me.
bangers.
Yeah, we bully Papa tweets are terrible.
I regret to say I maintain no drafts at all.
I might be.
Either it happens or it doesn't.
I have like 100. Holy shit!
Wow.
You can just tell us
He
if
just
ours
goes
are
raw.
bad.
He just drops that shit.
Anybody want to lead off with one?
Usually I'll know in my head if something's gonna hit, and then I'll send it. And if I know it's not gonna, then I won't do it.
I got a few. I don't know if they're rough or great, but one I think is decent.
Let's hear it.
So the first one, I'll go like bottom to top and what I like. I hate
So
shower
you-
sex. The drain hurts my dick.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
In my state, I'm more agreeable than I otherwise would be, but that's pretty good.
You might like
Not
the
ours.
last one. You might. So the middle one, strangling an adult goose has to feel better than opiates. I just know it.
Bro, what?
No.
What?
I think I'll
That's
pass on
probably
that
your
one.
worst. That's probably your worst one.
I thought that was a good one. All right. And this next one is really all about.
Wait. Can I ask you? How'd you think about it? Have you actually looked at a goose form? Like, I just want to grab that net. Like, how do you
No,
think
it
of
was
that?
some weird schizo post I saw on
Okay.
TikTok
All right.
with something to do
Okay.
with this. So I tried to riff it. So this one was all about delivery. Okay. Yo, you got some crazy ass tits on you, you fucking retard.
No,
Absolutely not.
I'd like it though.
I think you could post that if it was a video. If you posted it
Bro.
in video format of you saying
Have
that,
you-
that would
No
pop off.
caption, and you just like yelling at the camera.
It's like a Snapchat
Yes.
video.
Yeah. Like a snap video, that would pop off.
Let's table that one.
I think that one's doing well for me for the shock value. But not
Yeah, the shock value is what got me for sure. It's just a
It
shock
was really
value.
aggressive.
It's still shocking me. It took like a minute to like work on me, but I'm still recovering from that. I say go with the first one. Honestly, that was pretty
Okay,
good.
like the first one? Okay.
So
okay.
is that founded in that very old Reddit post where like somebody was saying like his girlfriend asked him to talk dirty, so he like called her a
You could like
retard or
that.
something?
No,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
what
you like that, you fucking retard.
that is a class.
God damn it, bro. That was funny. That was funny.
All right.
Great work.
Those are mine.
Max, do you have any for me in the drafts?
Do you want to take one of those? Here, I can give you.
So you should tweet that.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
Well, okay. Now that T Pop is here, I can read this one. You can take this one. Mormons are the white people of white people.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's
True.
good. That's
That's a
good.
good one. You
Yeah.
should take that, Joe.
Yeah, if that doesn't get tweeted by one of you guys, I'll send it out in a week or two.
I feel like that one's for T-Pop, but you need that one.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, hold up. Wait, can I give
My first optometrist was a Mormon.
Because I just found this. I don't remember if I gave this to you guys.
Go ahead.
They call me Little Caesars because I got crazy bread and low quality meat.
That's really good.
Yeah, bro.
I like that one. No one does.
Yeah, someone
That's
can take
really
that
good.
That's pretty good.
You say someone can take that one?
Yeah, someone can take
You
that
want
one.
it?
You need it? I can have it.
Yeah,
I want
that's
it.
yours. That's all yours.
Thank you so
Send it.
much.
Not bad.
Thank you so much.
That would make the least sense for Zoe to tweet, though. What do you
That's the point.
I'm gonna go ahead and get mine out of the way. It's just someone sent to me that they thought was funny. Bitches be like, you mine, quotation. First off, I'm on parole. I belong to the state.
That's pretty good. I don't know.
You need emojis in there.
And
But it has potential.
there's a laughing face after that. I belong to the state.
I like
That
it.
was a cute one.
Okay.
All right.
And Prison Joe, so you know.
I have a
guess.
community submission, and I
Oh,
already
no.
told them it's bad, and I said I'll read it, but they will roast it.
No, dude, this is your idea, and you're softening the blow. Just take
Yeah.
Just tell us what it is.
Just eat it, man. We know it's
Dude,
your tweet.
it's so like it's,
Don't try to say
it's
community.
We can, at this point, we can tell.
I have one.
At this point,
I
we
have
can
one
tell.
that's mine, bro. This is not a good one. Okay, but it could. I think there's potential here. It can get workshopped. My dick is like a DDS, but that poison lasts for 18 years.
You wrote that. You
That's a
fucking-
T-Pop
I did
tweet,
it, bro.
bro.
I did it. Dude, the best part is the guy who sent it to me. The guy who sent it to me. He says, "I have a certified banger for you," and then the 100 emoji.
And it's just
That's
that.
what he gives you.
Bro, that RuneScape Fiend 33 just sent you that, bro. Don't lie.
All right, then I have one that's mine. Hold on.
Goddamn.
Oh yeah, how many loads is drop rate? Question mark.
You're so dumb.
Garbage.
What does that even mean?
Absolute garbage. You should have gone with the community one.
Roidie,
What
do
does
you
that
see
even
what we have to
mean?
deal with every fucking week on Wednesday night? In the middle of the week.
Oh, in the joke, I incognito tabbed how long to take antibacterials for chlamydia, but it's like 2 weeks. I'm going to turn that into a joke.
If you just tweeted that, that would be a massive banger.
Oh
if you
my
just tweeted that by
God.
itself
Yeah.
with no context.
Just a
It's like add
screenshot of the
it's just-
search.
Yeah, just add a character for you, so that would probably do numbers.
No, the thing
Just
is,
put
'cause
OSRS at the end.
any tweet I ever do that is so out of character just gets a bunch of concerned commenters like, "What's wrong?"
Oh my
Hey,
god.
any
Put
interaction is
OSRS
good.
at the end of that, and that's a fucking
That's the
heater.
AI accusations. They think the program is malfunctioning.
Keeping the matrix.
I
Yeah,
actually
no. Go ahead, Zoe.
Sorry, I have something with tweet potential. Earlier, Foxes sent me a screenshot from Tasty's stream where someone said the new skill should be terrorism. I feel like it has potential, but I'll wait for the new skill poll to come out.
I remember that.
We'll give it a second.
Honestly, that goes kind of hard.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is funny.
Go ahead, Hamzy.
Like going into this, I was like, oh, I don't have anything, and then like while we're sitting here, I just like decided to check my drafts, and like I must have been fucking hammered. I don't remember this. I normally like you, Roidie. You know, I fire at the hip. I don't keep tweets in draft and save them for a time. I just fire away. So I'm not used to having drafts, but I guess I have something. I must have been. I don't know. The first one is how much DPS do you squirt?
Oh yes.
Damn, bro.
Dude, I must have been out of my mind, bro. The other one is this croissant so soft I'm about to use it to jerk off.
What are you doing?
Bro, what?
You actually thought about that when you were eating a croissant earlier, didn't you? You dirty bastard. Look at you,
Dude,
bro.
I'm like,
That's so funny.
I don't,
Buttery
dude. The
inside.
thing is that's so crazy is like I must have been hammered when I was tweeting this, and like there's no way I was eating I'm like that's not what I eat when I'm drunk. You know, like I'll eat the slice of pizza. Like,
You weren't eating it. You were fucking it. Dude. Did you fuck a
Dude,
croissant?
I gotta look under my bed.
Good tweet. Ball to the head just hit a loading line.
You would fucking eat it after you're done with it, bro.
That's what Roidie should tweet.
Leave no evidence.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We
tweet
sending
mine. Let me get drafted up here.
I'm gonna do the Mormon one.
Yeah, it's good. All right.
All right. Launching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
3,
I don't know which one I'm firing, but
3, 2, 1, tweet.
I'm at the RNG between 1 and 2.
I did
Yeah,
it.
RNG. Great work. Great work, everyone.
Yeah, I wish I had something. It looks like I am.
Hey, one of mine. Do the
Where do I
chlamydia.
see this.
Yeah, do the chlamydia,
chlamydia
one
would be
and then
good,
just
yeah.
throw OSRS at the end.
I was gonna say I'm like 3 tweets away from 1,000 lifetime tweets.
Oh wow. You could just toss 3 out right now. Just for the numbers.
AQP.
Yeah,
Skip
one.
so post.
Just do like a 1, 2, and then like this is my 1,000th tweet.
86 likes, 15,000 views.
Oh, don't look at the views. That's not real.
Yeah,
I wish they would take that away.
No, I like it.
I hated that. No, as soon as they added the views, like as soon as Twitter added that view feature, I posted like a picture of my face on like Christmas Day. And it was like my most viewed tweet of all time. And I was like, it's just my fucking face. Why is everybody caring about this?
Elon said you're
People
supposed
care.
to try to get 1 like per 100 views, and then when I see people,
Yeah, that's about average for me.
Yeah, I'm around that area too, actually. Besides
Sir?
what they say, okay. And my favorite is when I see someone on the timeline I don't like, and they're just those are some high views with some no likes right there. It feels
so
good.
nice.
Help me out, please. Help me out.
So
Someone help me.
nice.
number.
What
Live
do you think
on
about the?
Twitch,
Does the emoji
2
get online?
likes,
Let me know what you think.
10,000 views.
Oh,
Let me know if the delivery's okay on that.
Yeah, it's great. The joy emoji really makes it.
Okay, good.
Excellent work.
Thank you. That was pretty good. That was a good workshop, actually. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
Good stuff,
Tasty
guys.
wins this week. Tasty had some bangers.
Yeah,
Well done,
Tasty, that was
Tasty.
good
Yeah.
shit.
Great work.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Tasty,
Tasty,
you seem
how do
happy.
you
Are you
really
happy?
feel about shower sex?
Oh, I've only ever actually had shower sex once, and it was the worst fucking time of my life.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah,
Water's terrible.
yeah, water is
Yeah.
the worst lubricant.
You gotta get.
It's a pre-game, if anything.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really just like a fallback, you know. You're on vacation and sharing a hotel room with her family, and you're showering.
What?
Sounds really. I mean,
Yeah, what's
It
that
sounds
last
like
part?
it happened.
Hope you guys have enjoyed the podcast.
Sounds like it ended.
good night. Thanks for watching.